The Seahawks won the football game. So put respect on Darnold's name. That swinging Ginger King. Here comes that man to crush your team. It's Jason, it's MOB, it's K92, and Steve Shaheed. Mike McDonald, he's our man. Take us to the promised land. Santa Clara, Lumen South, bring Lombardi back around. Mike McDonald, he's our man. Take us to the promised land. Santa Clara, Lumen South, bring Lombardi back around. DeMarcus Lawrence bearing down, while Jones the Fourth is on lockdown. Airman Horry with a spoon. Thomas Bryant, bring the boom. The 12s are up, the Pats are down. The King has come to take the crown. Oh! Mike McDonald, he's our man. Take us to the promised land. Santa Clara, Lumen South, bring the body back around. Mike McDonald, he's our man. Take us to the promised land. Santa Clara, Lumen South, bring the body back around. Are you kidding me? Oh no! Holy catfish! Here we go! Mike McDonald, he's our man. Take us to the promised land. Santa Clara, Lumen South, bring the body back around. Mike McDonald, he's our man. Take us to the promised land. Santa Clara, Lumen South, bring the body back around. Bring the body back around. Seahawks song.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dark side.
On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network.
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I
Paul,
have to
thank you.
mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplained this.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10. Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in town.
in the back of our minds. Same discipline, same hunger, same grind. Defense first talk, run game me. Championship aura in the seams of the team. We don't talk range, we earn every inch. 4-quarter pressure, make contenders flinch. Every drive a test, every test get passed. History whispers, yeah, it's coming back. No excuse, no apology. Just defense, just noise, just Seattle. Welcome to the dark side.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's going to hear the roar of our engines.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You do your work, and we will do our best.
Republic. I like the sentiment. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose.
Are you ready to be who you are?
No poetry, just a straight answer.
The government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace.
We are men of the hood, Mary, now your experience.
But there's no both sides anymore. They're just trying to wreck our goddamn country. It's time for you younger guys to take over.
You meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. Screw them. This is your time. Go out there and go out there and go out there.
If you guys don't start thinking as men, we're gonna have a lousy country.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I declare to be an outlaw.
All right, everybody, it is the Outlaw Radio Network. It is the 15th of February, 2026. Thanks for checking out the show. Thanks to those of you who enjoyed the Super Bowl victory with us last week. We didn't do a show. If you didn't notice we didn't do a show, you're not paying quite enough attention to what we're doing. So.
Or you were really, really over celebrating that win.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There's a reason we didn't do a show. It's because I know the people I do the show with. And, most of you could not have spoken on a microphone. So
I actually didn't even have a drink.
No?
No.
That's a shocker.
Really, Kevin?
No, it's a Super Bowl. Everybody has a drink at the Super Bowl.
I told you I got the house alone. I enjoyed my me time.
We'll talk about that later. Talk about that later.
Okay.
Well. All right, Outlaw Radio. The whole crew is here, but I mean the whole crew is here.
The whole crew. The
whole crew is here. So DJ D running the boards, doing all the stuff that he does in the backside. The CEO is here as always. However, we've also got Boss Baby and Man Chop in studio with my favorite creature in the entire planet, which is Buckeye Jerome. Oh, hold on, let me see Buckeye. Come here, puppy. Hello to Buckeye Jerome. There's Buckeye Jerome, the official dog of the Outlaw Radio Network in his Seahawk garb.
Oh, come on, man. You just crapped on Leon.
No, Leon is the vice president of the dog fan club.
Okay.
And if Buckeye Jerome was wearing a Niners jersey, we would have to punt him. There you go. Paul's here, Tom, Beeler, myself, literally everybody's here. Even Isaac is around here somewhere. So it's a full house tonight. So thanks to Dennis for everything that Dennis does to make sure that we're able to do this show in the capacity that we do it with all the cool toys. Later tonight, we're going to break down a couple of things, including some thoughts I had on the whole Pam Bondi conversation with Congress last week. That was hilarious. A whole bunch of other stuff too. We'll talk some more Seahawk later. Hello, Paul.
Hey, brother. Is my mic on?
Your mic is on, but not very loud. Dennis will turn you up in a second. You look great, by the way.
What?
How was your drive back from Texas?
long.
Yeah, I imagine it was.
Complete new respect for how big Texas is.
Yeah, just driving across the state of Texas.
You know what?
Like,
New Mexico, beautiful. Arizona, beautiful. California. I came up with a game as we were driving through Texas. We got bonus points for avoiding the tumbleweeds.
Okay.
Felt like Frogger. There was like nobody else on the road for most of the drive. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Welcome
And I
to
hear
West
people-
Texas.
How many people have you guys heard of like, oh, I'm going to move to Texas, politics, whatever, right?
Right.
Like, go for it, dude. Have a nice trip.
That
I
bad,
lived there
huh?
for a little while when I was a kid.
Plenty
Right.
of space out there.
It took me 16 hours. We come from Fort Hood, dead smack in the middle of Texas, right?
Yeah.
16 hours just to get to the edge of Texas.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Like I said, long.
Almost the same amount of time to get from the middle of Texas to the end of Texas as it took me to go from San Diego to Oregon.
Yeah.
Insane.
You know what? You know what you should have done. What you should have done. I feel bad I didn't tell you this. You should have told your son Hunter that you were going to take him to Las Vegas, and then stopped in Las Vegas, New Mexico. I did that to my daughters when we went on our road trip down that way. I'm like, we're going to go to Vegas. We're going to Las Vegas. And we
That's
pulled
messed
into
up,
Las
dude.
Vegas, New
That's
Mexico.
so
They're like, this doesn't
Oh,
count.
you know how to find Texas, right?
Well, I mean, I found it just because the plane landed there.
You walk east until you smell shit, then walk south till you step in it.
Yeah.
All right.
I when I got there, you know, the one thing I told my son is, look, man, I said, this is only the second time I've been to Texas. Last time it was for a job interview, and I was there for like 2 days. And I'm like, I want some real Texas barbecue, right? So he takes me to this steakhouse, and we go in, and we get, I don't even remember the name of it. It made that kind of an impact. And he was like, oh, no, this is good. It's real Texas barbecue. He walked in. I'm like, I could have got this at Safeway.
Oh, no.
Really? Like,
Dang.
it was like $29. I'm like, this was.
That is seriously disappointing.
It was very disappointing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm a barbecue fiend.
Addict, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
2 quick comments. We'll get to our guest. Tegan said that your hair looks awesome, Alicia.
Well, thanks, Tegan.
There you go. And Kevin Nelson was so far the comment of the night. I didn't realize you guys were gone last Sunday. I thought you were in the bathroom. Given
geez,
given
Kevin.
Beeler's 12-year-old bladder, it's
Damn.
possible.
You know,
Yeah, perfect.
things
So,
happen.
in studio tonight, we are joined by the one and only Brandon Myers. Brandon, Kitsap County Sheriff's deputy for the last 23 years and currently running for Kitsap County Sheriff. What?
Nothing. I don't like
I'm
the
introducing the guest. What are
No,
you doing?
I like it. I do. I just don't like the camera angle. I wish we would have spent a little more time on that.
Well, you can do that next time.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Anyway, let's get back to our guest, Beals.
Yeah, sorry.
Brandon Myers running for Kitsap County Sheriff. We had one of the people that'll be running against him on a couple of weeks ago, and it's great to have the other candidate on to talk as well. Brandon, thanks for coming in on a Sunday.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
We
Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this because 23 years on the force. You don't look old enough to have been 5 years on the force, dude. Like, give us some backstory. Who is Brandon Myers and why are you running for the office?
Yeah, I thank my grandmother for having some vintage jeans because she.
All right, Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, no. So I started my career at the sheriff's office actually at 17 years old. Never would I have thought I was going to get into law enforcement. Born and raised here in Kitsap. My family's from Kitsap. I, for whatever reason, as a kid, wanted to be like a trauma surgeon or a broadcaster. And
this is right up your alley then.
I'm in awe with all the technology and stuff. I'm like,
Awesome.
I remember running soundboards like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, so it wasn't until later in junior high, it was actually that I took a test, and it was the top 3 career choices that you're supposed to, thrive in or whatnot. And number 3 was an actor. And I was like, okay, that fits the broadcasting realm a little bit. I like it.
Okay.
Number 2 was hotel restaurant management. And I was like, all right, I like that too. That'd be kind of fun.
Okay.
And number 1 was law enforcement. And I looked at that. I'm like, what the
Right. Which one of these doesn't belong?
Yeah, one of these things is not like the other.
Huh.
And so, it was kind of in the back of my head. It wasn't until when I was in high school, I ran into one of my classmates that was at a career day, and she's wearing this sheriff's office uniform. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I didn't know you're a cop, and found out, well, she's not. She's a cadet. And I met Dave Green as one of our deputies that works with us. I met him that day. And for whatever reason, growing up, I always thought like cops were just kind of rough and grumble Neanderthal. That was the definition that came in my head. I had no reason to think that. When I met Dave, though, the dude is amazing. He is probably one of the most down-to-earth, witty, smart, intelligent. And in that moment, it clicked for me like, oh my gosh, this guy is awesome. This group is awesome. So I got involved and became a cadet to disagreement of my mom. She did not like that idea of law enforcement, but I fell in love with it because everything about the job is things that I love doing. I love talking to people. I love problem solving. You put me in a scenario where the more chaotic, the calmer I get, because that's just the stuff that I love doing. And so when I became a cadet, I did that for about 3.5 years, and then we weren't hiring yet. So I became a reserve deputy, and I did that for about 1.5 years. But to pay the bills, since that one doesn't give you any money, I took a job at Kitsap 911 and was a 911 dispatcher and operator there for about 1.5 years.
That's
I was
stressful
CENTCOM.
job.
You know, it's funny because it is, but it's so much fun. Like to this day, one of my favorite jobs. However, I always wanted to get out on the road. And I remember coming back, visiting one day as a deputy, and they're like, "Man, your job must be stressful."
Right.
I'm like, "Are you kidding me? My job's a cakewalk in comparison to what you guys do." Like, there's just a million things going on at once, but that's the stuff that I enjoy. That pure adrenaline rush, the carnage, chaos. Like I said, the more the merrier with that.
Yeah.
So I made majority of my careers was in the patrol division. So I got hired right at the recession. So when I got hired, we didn't hire anyone else for 7 years.
Wow.
So I was literally the bottom of the totem pole for a very long time. But it was great at the same time because I got to work with so many tenured deputies and learn from them. And so I started my career there full time in 2008. And like I said, mainly in the patrol division, but I really branched out to teaching because I love instruction. So I became a field training officer. One of the cool things, some people ask me, well, why do you want to run for sheriff? And one of the things that I point back to is I look at our entire agency right now, and about 1/3 of our patrol division are people that I directly trained and have mentored throughout their lifetime. And what's really cool is when I became a cadet coordinator and an advisor for the program, because I'm all about giving back to what something's given to you.
Yeah.
So for me, it was important. I want to give back to this program. I now work side by side with kids that were cadets when I was their mentor, and now we're working as deputies together, or I'm their supervisor now or whatnot. So it's that full circle family feel. So out of that, I did a whole bunch of other areas: crisis negotiation, crisis intervention team, which deals with mental health challenges and whatnot. I promoted to a supervisor in 2019, and so the sheriff's office it's a little bit different than the military or any other law enforcement organization. There's not like a set rank structure that's the same, and it's not an automatic you're going to get promoted. It's all based on availability, right? So again, going back to being 7.5 years or 7 years with nobody being hired, we were stale for a very long time. There was just not a lot of movement. So that's why in 2019 I got promoted. Stayed in the patrol realm for a couple of years. I love it there, but I really wanted to branch out and learn some other areas of the organization. So I went back to our support services division as a sergeant back there. And they are the ones that are responsible for all the behind the scenes work. So all of our reports that get generated, they're the ones that process all of those. Our civil division, which is a huge piece that people don't really think of a lot of times at the sheriff's office, serving, writs and orders, I think is familiar to some folks, but never would you have told me that one of the things we had was a writ of execution, which is not the not that one. We didn't do that. But it was actually a business that was sued by the landlord. They couldn't pay the bill back. And so we actually had to go up and auction the stuff to recoup the losses.
Oh, wow.
And I literally showed up, we brought an RV and we set up a little mobile command post and walked around and went, okay, here's a forklift. Anyone, $100 for forklift? Weird things like that you never would have thought that law enforcement does, but we do. It's part of the civil wing.
I will take $100 forklift.
Someone did. I think it was a little more, but someone did take it.
That would.
What are you going to do with it?
It wouldn't fit in here,
Oh, it
Tom.
would be so great for the distillery. Oh
Why
my
wouldn't
God.
you have one? I mean, that was my thing. I want to test this thing. Like, does this work? Can I demo it?
Doing Brody's in the back.
Absolutely. It was frowned upon, but whatever.
I think the sheriff's department just should have strapped sirens at the top of it and called it an official vehicle.
I think that would have been epic. I think that I could absolutely find a use for a forklift somehow.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there'd be a way.
Yep.
So anyway, so I did that for a little over a year. Also, our property and evidence room was under my supervision. So that's a whole new world too. Like we have about 44,000 pieces of evidence that's in our evidence vault. Wow. And so if you think about that, like we have to be in charge and know where every one of those pieces of evidence is at any given time and be able to bring that forward, be able to process that kind of stuff. So there's that's a whole nother world. So learning that aspect of it was a really unique experience as well. And we have such an amazing crew that works back there because
you guys really do.
They're phenomenal.
Mhm.
I don't know. A shout out to Brian, Lori, and Tina. I don't know if they can see me but I mean, they are, we call them the BLT.
Yeah.
So they run that place like a squeaky clean ship, and it's just fantastic. So after that, an opening came up in our detective division, and that's an area that I'd never worked before. And that was the last area that I was like, I want to learn this. I want to see how this process is. So I took a transfer over to the detective bureau, where I've been for the last about 3.5 years as a supervisor back there. Never in my wildest dreams did I want to be a detective, but being a supervisor back there is a little bit different because you're more the management of the cases. You're not the one that has to sit there and write the search warrants day after day after day. And so being able to be a part of the team and help them with their investigations. And we also do all our in-house crime scene processing. So some agencies have civilians that will come in and they will dust for fingerprints or take photos. We do that in-house in our detective group. So we should have more, but we have about 9 of us or so at any given time. That I see someone wants to volunteer.
If you could do a ride along, she would be so happy.
Bring it, sister. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
No,
she's the true crime freak among us.
So you and my sister can never meet then, because you guys would just never.
We're talking about Boss Baby, by the way, for the listeners who can't see off camera.
Yeah.
And actually, in a side note too, my sister, she actually just took a job recently because she loves the crime scene stuff too. I think every true crime snapped, you name it, she's an expert. But never wanted to be a cop. She's 2 years younger than me, but also 4'6". So she's a very petite individual.
Yeah.
You got to get a little bit lower still. But she took a job because Bremerton Police Department actually has 2 civilianized crime scene technicians. So they run their property evidence room, but they also go out and do the processing. So this last year, actually, I got to attend a class with my sister. She had been in pharmacy for 20 years prior to that.
Wow.
And so we got to fly to Idaho together and take a week-long death investigations course. And never would I have thought that would have been a possibility.
Wow, that's really cool.
But it was such a cool moment. And we were teasing throughout the week of the class because we're like, we got this. Like, we got this figured out. And at the end of it, we were right. And so we felt very vindicated by our class for that week.
That's
for sure.
It's nice when you have somebody to bounce that stuff off of too that you're close with.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been great both ways, like you said, because, I've been helping talk with her and we've been doing a lot of this stuff together and being able to bounce back and forth. And now someone in the family that kind of understands some of that stuff that we deal with. She had recently a baby death, and those things are horrible. And it just, it's eviscerating to the individuals that have to deal with that. But having that connection with her and being able to, having experienced that myself several times, work through that together and whatnot has been awesome.
Let's ask a little bit here. I don't want to step on your toes, Kev, but I'm kind of curious a little bit about you're born and raised here.
Yep.
Right. So not that it's relevant to the job. It isn't. But what high school did you graduate from?
I went to CK. I went to Silver Elementary, into CK Junior High at the time, now the middle school, and then CK High.
Okay. Very good. Yep. What year did you graduate? Choose your words carefully.
I graduated in 2004. Yep.
All right, you're safe.
Although, so my senior and junior year, while I went to CK, I did full-time running start.
Gotcha.
And so I was at Olympic
program.
College. It was fantastic. I can't speak more highly of that program for kids. But so when I went to graduate, I went back and there was a lot of people I didn't know. Thankfully, the core group of friends that I'd known from, elementary school and junior high, I recognized some of them, but then I'm standing in this line going, I don't know some of these people.
Yeah. I know. I get it, man. I just ask. I was a 90 graduate of Olean. So, it's nice to have a sense that people that when they're moving up within the community, especially going for a position like what you are, born, bred, raised local, you have a good understanding of the community.
That's a huge piece for me. And, it goes back to the why again. And, I went to CK, but so did my mom. And we had teachers. I had some of her teachers right before they retired.
Yeah.
Mr. Stroud. I don't know if Mr. Stroud's still with us or not, but algebra with him, and my mom had him and a number of others. And, my uncles all went there. My dad went to West High before it demolished. So, yeah, I think that community route is really what gives me the driving passion to do this because, when somebody asks, why would you ever want to get involved in politics? It's crazy, right?
That is an important distinction, right?
Yeah.
Look, you're going from a position of being a deputy to being sheriff, right?
Yeah.
But it's very political.
it's absolutely political. And, you know, when I look at it and I look at the values that we've had in our community for decades and growing up here and seeing our organization is a very special place. And, you know, I think I'm obviously biased, right? However, we have some of the most amazing, talented workforce here in Kitsap that we're a little bit of a gem around here. And you hear some of the stories and you hear things that happen around the nation. And I've always been so thankful to be here in this community with the people that we live and work with, because they're an outstanding group of individuals.
For sure.
They really are.
Yeah.
So
Especially Kitsap County.
Indeed. Yes.
I worked for them for 15 years.
Did you really?
I did.
What did you do?
I was a detention officer.
Oh, very nice.
And then I moved up to Superior Court as the pretrial services administrator.
Excellent.
And then I got moved to public defense, same role.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So I used to go to the jail every day.
Well, yes. It's always nice when you can leave at the end, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Bless their hearts. Like, that is a job that is a whole, you know, we were talking about stress earlier. Like, my hat's off to people in corrections. That is not a job that I would want to do. That's a very
special temperament.
Very special temperament. Yeah. And, you know, some agencies like in California, you start at the jail. And if we had been that way, I don't know if I would have gotten in law enforcement, because that would have been a huge piece. So like I said, my hat's off to them, because they have
still an amazing group of people.
100%.
Like, I still see several of them.
Oh, yeah.
As often as possible. Yeah.
And I'm sure Penny Sapp. I mean, I love her to death.
Sure. Yeah.
She's like, okay. No idea who that is, do you?
No, I absolutely know who Penny Sapp is.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well,
No, I
that's
do.
a story for later.
I don't know. We're peeling some onions.
Apparently.
Listen, I'm gonna ask this. We talked about the politics end of
Yeah.
it, and so I think this is one of the pressing questions, because it's running through Olympia.
That's your
and
segue. Go for it.
I know that you. Thanks, Paul. I know that you did make a statement on your page about it, but I want to talk about a little bit, which is HB 1399. The idea that they want to remove, they want the ability anyway to remove sheriffs if they don't fit what a panel has said that sheriff should be doing, contrary to whatever the voters in that county have decided. I know where you stand because I read your statement, but can you talk a little bit about where you are on that, where you think that bill is or isn't, and what you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's abhorrent to think that we would have a different group outside of our community that's not elected that gets to dictate who we want representing us. That just goes against every fiber of the American, you know, system. Right.
It contradicts a republic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, some people have asked, because I had posted that, and, you know, I try to be in the you know, common middle ground. That's how I've been, you know, grown up in this community, going, I'm just a straight shooter. I'll tell you how I feel. This is how it is. And I will tell Democrat sides, I'll tell Republican sides, this is a terrible idea. Why would we want to create something like that? And, you know, where does it stop? Right? If it starts here today, what's tomorrow? What now? We don't like our commissioners, or not us. People over there don't like them.
Yeah.
So I am firmly against that concept. Now, there's been pieces of that legislation that talks about standards, and so the question was asked, well, you're saying you don't agree with standards? No, absolutely not what I'm saying. I've fought super hard throughout my entire career to have the utmost standards and continue to push that in all the people that I've mentored and developed throughout their careers, because we have to do it right. It's sometimes hard, but it's our job to color in the lines, because that's what ultimately is going to get you that conviction later down the path. You can't cheat the system. And so having that piece of it that they're saying, yeah, you know what, we just don't like how that is, and we're just going to remove that, I think it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So let me ask the other half to that, because the people who support your opponent have done a really solid job of funneling photos around of you with Tara Simmons and other Democrat lawmakers, implying that you're, I'm just going to say it bluntly, a Democrat stooge, right? That you're just part and parcel of the Democrat Party. This is who they want. Can you speak to that? Because you've said a couple of times, this isn't a partisan gig. How do you respond to people that say, well, he's really just going to run because the Democrats like him and they think they can push an agenda through him?
Which is funny, because I was never a part of the local Democratic circle until Gary Simpson, then Democrat sheriff, retired. And he had announced his intentions to retire, and they had to go through an appointment process. My brother had actually run in politics. He's about 6 years younger than I. I had no idea how the political process worked. So I reached out and I'm like, hey, how does one get involved with this? And so he turned me over to Hanny Baxter, who was then the chair of the Democrats at the time.
We love Hanny, by the way.
We do, yeah.
I'm sure she's probably listening. So
hi, Hanny.
Hi, Hanny.
I thought she was coming down.
She may be, for all we know. She's probably in the corner watching.
She's very stealthy.
She's like a ninja.
Yeah.
so I got involved in that process. During the appointment process, it just happened that I got the number one pick from the Democratic Party. I had not planned on running for sheriff at that time. My plan had always been in this cycle. And so that's kind of how I got involved with that. I then did not have a clue. I've been a cop. I know how to be a cop. Been a cop in law enforcement over 20 years. I'm not a politician. And so I got involved with that group after the selection process to learn kind of the insides of how does this work? How do campaigns work? What is a precinct committee officer? How does that help you get an election? So it was a lot of trial by fire, learning that piece of it and learning the intricacies so that when it did come time to run for office, I had some sort of understanding. I like that you asked about the Tara Simmons thing because it kind of goes back to what we were saying over here. I'll take anyone on a ride along. I think transparency is huge. And what's funny, that picture that was posted, the sheriff himself had asked me if I'd be willing to take her. And Tara and I have had a lot of disagreements. However, I've always believed firmly that you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I can sit down with somebody and have them as a captive member in my attendance for a 4 or 5 hour stint, then I'm going to take the opportunity to do that because I want to take the Democrat side and become where I've kind of functioned in that kind of middle zone.
Mm-hmm.
I respect people that have different opinions on both sides. It's just not where I generally land. And so, yeah, I did take her for a ride along. And I want to, I don't know how much time we're doing, but I want to share a story on that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So on that ride along, one thing that stood out in particular was we had a call at Target and we ended up going there and the individual was getting trespassed. Clearly they're on something. So I said, hey, anytime throughout this process, feel free to get out of the car is kind of my mantra to folks. If it's something that you're uncomfortable with, you can stay. Or if I forget, I might say, hey, go back to the car. So I got out and I'm dealing with this guy, and Tara didn't. And so I got his name. I came back to her and I said, hey, he's going to have a warrant. Just wait. Like there's something's happening here. We don't have a reason to detain him right now. So he's kind of boogieing out of the parking lot. Sure enough, he comes back with a robbery warrant for an armed robbery. So I get in the car. We go across the parking lot. We get over because this is in Silverdale, ran across the road there over to where the Red Lobster used to be. And I get out, run after him, draw my gun, give him commands, get him in the car. We go to the jail. Afterwards, I asked Tara, I said, hey, I want to break down everything that just happened there, right? So let's start from the beginning. I said, well, I noticed something, and it was that you didn't get out of the car. Why? Why had every other time we got out of the car?
You asked Tara Simmons that?
Yes.
Fascinating. Keep going.
And she said, to her credit, and like I said, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. To her credit, she said, look, I have a history of drug use. I know what that's like, and that's what that was, and that's scary. I'm like, okay, good. So we're recognizing that. Now let's talk about him kind of taking off and running across the parking lot. How did we feel about that? And go, yeah, it was clear that he's trying to get away. He's trying to hide something. Then we get to the point where I said, yeah, and then I drew my gun. She goes, well, yeah, I mean, he could have had a weapon. He could have had all this stuff. It was a successful conclusion. I said, you know, what's interesting though, is you and I came to the same intuition about that, except from very different polar aspects, right?
100%.
Me from my job and you from your lived experience. And that's not something to discount. I think we had an opportunity there to really connect and move the needle forward a little bit. So much so that her son is now in law enforcement.
Yes.
And he actually came out and did a ride along with me as well. And like I said, I'll take anybody. What's interesting about that post is that, yeah, I did take Tara. That same summer, though, I also took then candidate for Sheriff Rick Goose on a ride along. That was in 2022, I believe, was the election cycle. And not many people at the agency wanted to take him on a ride along because during that cycle of the campaign, there was a lot of negative things said about the deputies. And so a lot of folks weren't really gung-ho about that. But I was like, again, I'm an equal opportunity. I'm transparent. I'll take you out. So I took him out for a couple hours. And that doesn't get shared. That's okay. But I would take anybody out. And, you know, I had an event that I was with the former governor at the time. And I sat at the table. I've never sat at a table with a governor before. And what was interesting is some of my friends were asking me like, oh, I can't believe you'd sit there. You know, he's not very pro-police. I'm like, what you're missing, though, is I had an hour that he was my captive audience. And we talked about everything that I could about law enforcement and the righteous things we're doing, the things that we're doing correctly, and the things that are struggling with us because of different pushes or different laws that people are trying to enact. So I want to
push back a little bit though, because you were the vice chair of the party though for
Yes.
a while.
Yep.
You're not currently, but you were.
No, I was. So correct. so I got involved. There was an opening for the vice chair. Hanny there was the chair at the time. I said, yeah, I have no idea what that job is, but plug me in. I'll learn it and we'll see how this goes. After that cycle, then I have not been involved with the party since then. And I had told Hanny.
Are you a PCO currently?
I am. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So I ran as a PCO, and I think I'm on my second cycle of that.
Okay.
So I ran as PCO, still have that. I never really got involved in a lot of the campaign like outreach stuff. It was more understanding the organization and whatnot of how the process works for the most part.
So, and again, so I don't want to belabor this, but I know this has been like the big thing that I've seen online where they're poking at your candidacy, which is he's in bed with the Democrats. This is the Democrat thing. So how do you respond to that? Because you do have some relationships there. How do you stay true to that nonpartisan nature of the job, still having those relationships?
Yeah, I think, one thing to point out right away is when I selected my campaign group to work with, right? Everyone said, oh, you have to have a campaign manager. And there's a local campaign group that does a lot of the Democratic campaigns. I said, I don't want that. I'm not running to be a Democratic sheriff. I'm running to be the sheriff. And so I reached out and forged my own team. So I don't have a campaign manager. I have a group of 6 Republicans and 6 Democrats, and we come together and we talk about ideas and philosophies, and we push the campaign forward in a public setting. So yeah, there's no denying that. Yeah, I was part of the Democratic Party. My philosophy, though, is I've always considered myself kind of the blue dog, or as I call it, the West Wing Democrats. If anyone watched the television show The West Wing with Jeb Bartlett, that's kind of where my political ideology stands. Not one time in my career have I gone to a call and said, excuse me, stop. Are you Democrat or Republican? Because that's going to dictate how, which is ridiculous, right? And I think it's interesting because people talk about that, but we look at, again, Gary Simpson was a Democratic sheriff. Steve Boyer before him was a Democrat that ran for sheriff. And so I don't think it's uncommon for that to happen. Someone had asked, well, why didn't you run as an independent? Well, because I want to be honest about it, right? That's where my political ideology is. When I took a test recently online, Facebook, so it's got to be true, right?
Right, totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
1,000.
But I agreed with it when I took it. It has like the political access, right? And I literally ticked one tick over to the left to the liberal side and one tick down to libertarian, actually, which I found interesting.
Tom,
Oh, Tom, we're Biffles now.
I am the resident libertarian.
Yeah, Tom is one of 3 libertarians in the entire state.
I have a coworker that would probably maybe know, actually, and so I called him right after and I said, hey, I got one tick in the libertarian column. I think he was very proud at that moment.
Every time one of these
slanted, though, Tom, come on.
It's not. It really is not. But every time one of these jokers has something gold to say, I tell them they're being.
Make sure we know.
Hear about all the time.
I think to Kevin's point, and kudos on you for putting a team together like you have, because this country right now is incredibly divided, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's only becoming more divided. So going out there and running for a position as sheriff, right? It's the most powerful position, right, in this county, bar none. And I think a lot of people are rightly concerned. We live in a state that's been controlled by Democrat and leftist policy since 1988. There's no denying it. It's a straight out fact. So when you and your friends and all of us, when we go out and we complain about gas prices, property taxes, educate, whatever, every single issue in this state, you can point directly at Democrat policies. By going out, I think people have a right, or they can reasonably be concerned, hey, if this guy's going to come out there and run for sheriff and he's going to be a Democrat, because now being a Democrat is associated with socialism, right? Because Democratic socialists are making a hard move and taking over the party. That's why so many, even Kevin there, right, registered Democrat for his entire life. But he's like, the party's left me. And a lot of Democrats feel that way. But unfortunately, the squeaky wheels get the grease, right? So there's nothing wrong. And we've been doing this for 26 years. And I can't tell you how many times we've talked to people on one side of the aisle or the other. And it's no longer about Republican versus Democrat, not in our opinion. Now it's the far right versus the far left, and 90% of us are stuck in the middle, listening to the BS. And for those of you that are listening, you don't need to message me anymore about what a great guy or what a horrible guy he is. I'm sitting right here next to him having a nice conversation. Okay? We're all good.
Look at that. I want to clear something up, because there's questions in chat. Now, you're not running as an independent. You are running as a Democrat. And so there are some people that were clarifying that in the chat. So I wanted to be clear with that.
Yeah, someone had asked me like, well, why didn't you run as an independent then?
And you said because you wanted to be honest. You've
Yeah,
been a member of the Democrat Party.
yeah,
You've done stuff with the
exactly.
Dems.
That's the first thing they would have brought up.
Correct.
You're
So
lying.
why skirt the truth on something like that? Again, that we certainly don't have the luxury at all in this profession of even the tiniest sliver of dishonesty, right?
Right.
And
We
as a
have to
cop,
be-
you know how that works.
Absolutely, you have to be beyond reproach. And so when people ask, yeah, that's how it is, and that's why it is.
Yeah. Debbie asked about $13.99. Debbie, he answered that a little bit ago. Go back and listen to the podcast afterwards, but he's demonstrably against it. While we're on the subject of politics, though, I want to play for you a clip, and this is circled all over the place. This was out of Thurston County, so not a Kitsap County thing, but I think the sentiment of what people are seeing and hearing, and what some law enforcement officers are dealing with, is pretty significant, right? So I'm going to play this and have you listen to it in the ear. I'm not going to play the whole clip because it's relatively long, but give me a second because I'm still learning technology. And yeah, give me just a second here. This was a scene in Thurston County where a deputy was at a school after he had done a collision report or some kind of traffic infraction thing. And while he was parked there, a random parent decided that she needed to come up and confront the officer and ask him what he was doing and why he was there. So I'm just going to play a little bit of this. Let's make sure that the audio works. Here we go.
What are you doing?
What am I doing here?
Why are you here?
And if not, I've seen it, so I can answer.
All right. I'm not going to play it because we're not getting audio for some reason. Because why not?
I was just
Every
doing
time
a
we
collision.
took a week off of the show. Okay. But anyway, so we'll stop that. Sorry guys. I'm doing my best over here. But the gist of it was, why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you here trolling
scaring
the
the
parking
kids.
lot?
Right.
You're scaring kids, you're scaring families. You're not a part of the community, which I thought was rather interesting for her to say to him.
Correct.
How do you, as a sheriff, if you're elected, how do you deal with that pushback? And Tegan, I know you guys can hear, but we can't, which means he can't. How do you deal as a sheriff with the pushback that you're getting from elements in the community that are saying police officers are not our friends, police officers do not care about us, they're part of a force that's here to oppress us and hold us down and go after marginalized communities? How do you compete against that?
Yeah, I think, multifaceted. First of all, I want to give kudos to the Thurston County Sheriff that actually posted after that event and said, hey, by the way, I watched this. And not only did that deputy handle themselves way better than probably I would have, to be honest.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he's going to give him an award, recognition, kudos for keeping his cool. Because, what my job in kind of goes back to that community roots, right? And having been born and raised here and making those connections throughout my entire life, when these things come up, I think it's important to involve the community and being honest about what the struggles are, right? That individual is more of an outlier than, especially like up here in Kitsap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we see stuff like that now and again? But most of us up here are very reasonable individuals and look at something like that as just disgusting, right? It's just, they're just baiting for attention. And
Well, but hold on, I'm going to push back. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
He's right. Though. That woman was looking for clicks.
She was, but we do know that there's elements of our communities though that feel like officers are not really out to help. They're gonna profile, or they're gonna stereotype, or they're gonna serve the agenda, whatever. And I'm not saying they're right or not, but I think it's important to acknowledge we do have pockets of our communities that feel that way.
Yes, I think that kind of going back to what I was saying about having those connections in the community to be able to go to them and show, hey, I'm Brandon, right? I'm a person first. I live here. Yeah, I have a job as a cop, and that's what we're doing at our organization, is really pushing that it's the people first, not the badge, right? One of the things that I'm a huge proponent of is development and leadership and whatnot. And so for our deputies, we want to make discretionary decisions at the lowest level, right? We want them to be empowered to make the tough decisions, to do what's right, but they need to be the ones that have the tools and the support from their sheriff to be leaders in their community. And they're the ones that are going out, that are having those engagements with the community. And when they handle themselves professionally like that, and when they show somebody like, hey, this is who we are, this is our values, this is how we drive our organization forward. As the sheriff, it's my job to go out there and talk to communities about that, especially ones that disagree. kind of going back to what we're talking about, why do we keep surrounding ourselves with people we agree with all the time, right? We should be pushing ourselves, pushing the boundaries, and having those disagreements with people, because that's the only way that we're going to even take incremental steps forward, right? If you just keep thinking of how you want the world to be, that's not going to help anybody. And so I think as that elected, you have to put yourself in those uncomfortable environments and have those conversations. Are you going to win everybody over? No, you're not. But at least you can say that you tried, and you can get a coalition of people within that community that still support that organization despite some naysayers.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, listen, I think it's you could not pay me enough to be a cop. You just couldn't, right? You guys are going to risk your lives on a daily basis. There's always the risk of something. You know, I live right near I'm going to mispronounce his name, but the Tony Radulescu.
Radulescu. Yeah.
I live right by that marker that's on the side of the highway. As a reminder of what you guys have to deal with on a daily basis. You see people at their worst, you deal with horrible situations, and you have factions of the public that think you guys are Satan. Like, you could not pay me enough to be a cop and deal with both ends of that spectrum. How do you support the officers then? Because as the sheriff, you have a responsibility to community, but you also have a responsibility to submit the officers to serve 100%. Under you, the deputies that serve under you.
Yep.
How do you, are they being supported adequately now? And are there different things you would do to support them if you became sheriff that maybe isn't being addressed currently?
I think that the support from the community has been very strong, and there are, ebbs and flows depending on what worldwide events or local events can transpire. That is one area that I really want to push forward, though, is internal, is that support and knowing that it's there. And I think that a lot of that comes from showing up. And when we went through the George Floyd era of policing and post-COVID, being a cop is totally different than it even was 10 years ago. And we have a lot of new, I say kids, but we have a lot of new deputies that need to know that what they're doing matters, and they need to know that it's okay to do their job, because some of them grew up in the COVID era where we weren't even hands-on with anybody. And there's a time and a place, and sometimes there is force that's used. And I remember being at a scene with one of our newer deputies, and there was it was a domestic, and the person was right up in their face and kind of started this little pushing match, and absolutely not. So I ended up doing a takedown, get the person in custody, and told the deputy, I'm like, you don't get to touch the deputy. That doesn't happen. Then there's a boundary and there's a line. And that was an eye-opening moment for them to go, oh my gosh, my supervisor just took care of that situation. But I think that the point of that is you need to show up. You need to show people it's okay to do this job. I, to this day, love finding an overtime slot that I can go work the road for a little bit, because that is still in my heart of hearts where my soul lies, is those 911 calls and going to those calls. And when you do show up, especially when I went back to detectives, a detective sergeant, there's only one of us, right? A detective sergeant working the road was not heard of. And I chose to do that because I want to be involved with that group. I want them to know that I support you. I see you. I can do the same job that you do, and I'm going to support you doing it if you're doing it the right way.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, that is.
Anybody else? Because I got
that's good leadership. I do have some questions. I want to know.
I'll take over if you let me, Brandon. I'm sorry.
Thank you. With the budget shortfall, do you have a plan in place for your deputies and the community?
Yeah. So this is, you had asked me if I'd heard the conversations with Rick, and I saw just a little glimpse, and it was the part about the budget talk.
Yeah.
Here's the hard part, is that the way revenue is generated in our state and how the counties generate revenue are very, very different, right?
Right.
And so you look at your property taxes, and out of $1 that you pay for every $1 of your property taxes, a majority of that money does not come to the local county, right?
Right.
Majority of it goes to state education, local education. Fire districts get about 18%. You have ports, you have all the county roads and whatnot. The county's general fund gets about 7% of every dollar. So 7 cents on that, right? So now you take that 7 cents and you throw it in the county's budget. Out of that budget, 3 different pools, right? You have the roads fund, you have a special revenue fund, which is not money that can be used outside of what is directly put for. Then you have the general fund. And now the general fund, we as the sheriff's office take up 45% of that, $65 million budget this year. That's a lot of money. However, 80% of that off the top is wages and benefits right off the get-go. So your wiggle room is incredibly slim margins.
Right.
And we're facing right now, we have a staffing crisis. A lot of places do, but I don't know that people realize how desperate our staffing is right now. Like for us, we would have to hire about 40 or 50 more deputies just to be on the state average.
Wow.
Just the average.
That is horrible.
There's times at night, especially recently, because we have been burning our folks out. They were working so many overtime shifts just to meet minimum standards. We've had times in the middle of the night that there's 4 deputies for the entire county.
That is not something I like to hear.
No, it's not. And those are even the ones.
No idea it was that bad.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
No,
yeah.
That's insane.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Washington State still the lowest for law enforcement per capita in the entire country?
51 out of 50 because the District of
Right.
ranked
Okay.
51.
So we're still there.
Yes.
And then this county is at the
probably bottom third.
I mean, would you actually want to be in law enforcement in Washington State? They're treated like shit.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah.
No, I just
I
want
don't.
the statistics,
But-
right?
But
Yeah, no, I get it.
Well,
It's
the
just
point,
like,
the point out too is we're talking about like the wage and benefits aspect,
Yeah.
right? 80%. We're not competing with the Puget Sound labor market though.
No.
Right? Like, for example, my opponent over in King County probably makes a lot more than I do as a supervisor here, because we just don't have the infrastructure and the funds to keep up pace with a King County or a Tacoma.
Right.
We're a unique county, very much so, because we're so landlocked in a sense, but we're also very dense. And because we don't have any big industry, we don't have a lot of revenue generation outside of sales tax, property tax. And so it really limits the ability to move forward as an organization.
How do you retain good talent then? Because I would think that, and you've been deputy for a long time.
Yeah.
I would think as your deputies get some tenure,
yeah,
and then they get offered better wages to go to Pierce or King County,
yeah,
a lot of them are going to take it because it's more money to help take care of their families. How do you retain good talent if you can't compete dollar for dollar?
I think
I still want an answer on my question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, go back. What was
About the budget shortfall? How
Yes,
are you
how-
going to make up for that? Yes.
with the budget shortfall, we have got to have conversations about revenue and figure out how that's going to be, right? We are very, very slim margins. And this last budget cycle, it laid off 3 positions. So we got rid of 2 deputies, well, a deputy and a detective and another, I think it was 2 and 1. That's bad. That's very bad.
We shouldn't be losing people when we have that much of a shortfall in this county. That's insane.
And I've had conversations with all 3 commissioners individually, as a group. It's easy to point fingers and say it's the commissioner's fault, right? We just need more money.
No, that's not how it works.
It's not how it works, right? Yeah, that's the problem. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So we have to have those relationships built, and really, as a community and as a county, talk about this. So I did 8 years on the Central Kitsap Community Council, and my last meeting before I left was in December, and it was the budget presentation from the county. And they had asked, like, "Hey, Brandon, please jump in." I'm like, "Absolutely." My last meeting, you're telling me I get a microphone? I'm out. Let's do it. So after about 25 minutes of just showing the numbers, right? This is where I get back to the transparency side of things, because when you show the actual numbers and you show the actual revenue and you show the actual expenses, even that room was like, all right, what do we need to do? How do we get more funding for you? Do I have to pay more in sales tax? Do I have to pay more in property taxes? That's a discussion we have to have with the community, though, right?
Yeah.
So that would be my job as an elected sheriff, is to really go out and be transparent about what our problems are. We can't say everything's great, it's rainbows and butterflies and unicorns, because it isn't always that way. Is Kitsap County safe? 100%. You have some of the most dedicated men and women that are working their tails off to keep people safe, but we're burning them out, and we have to make sure we
how
don't
can
do
you
that.
say we're safe when we have a super large land mass in Kitsap County, and you're telling me there's only 4 deputies throughout the entire county? That is not keeping the community safe. And I'm not.
At night.
Yeah.
But hold on, a lot of people are asking about this in the chat, though, so it gets back to the question about taxes, right? And so the pointed question they're all asking is the same. Are you going to advocate for taxes, public safety tax, increase in property tax? Is there a funding mechanism that you're going to advocate for if you're sheriff?
I think that is a conversation that the community needs to have with me to figure out what would be the best thing. Nobody wants their taxes raised, right?
No.
However, if there's one thing that we can all agree upon that we need, is a safe community. It's literally the pillar of government, right? Make sure your citizens are safe. And so I think that transparency piece and showing the community can select what they want to do with that. But I'm going to advocate for whatever that looks like, whether it's a potential sales tax increase, whether it's a potential property tax. Those are all conversations that I've been looking over the last couple of years. What would be the most beneficial? Thurston County did one similar that I think would be very beneficial for us. However, it's going to be up to the community. It's my job to sell that, right? It's not my job to ram it down people's throats. It's my job to show the importance of it and why something like that would be necessary.
Or maybe come up with some creative financing ways of drawing more money. As I pointed out before, everything in this state financially has been controlled by the same party, the party you identify with, right? So maybe the idea of approaching people about more taxes to help pay for more deputies isn't necessarily the best way to go.
Aren't we being polarizing by making comments like that?
Probably.
Paul's always polarizing.
Yeah, stop being polarizing.
Polarizing starts with a P, which also
Paul,
starts with
stop
Paul.
being a cunt. Stop being a cunt.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Isn't deregulation great?
Go ahead,
It sure
Paul.
is.
Go ahead,
The
Paul.
point that I was going to ask is part of the reason why we are divided, right, is because we have an issue right now in this country that's being, some would suggest, overly dramatized, right, over the issue with immigration and customs enforcement, right? I think it's what, Section 18, 1324, something like that, Section 8, whatever it is. I don't never memorize those things. What is your personal belief? If you're elected sheriff, how would you deal with ICE? I understand Washington State's a sanctuary, Kitsap County is all that stuff, right? I get all that. How would you choose to handle that? Would you advise your deputies or the people that are under your employ to assist, or would you advise them to just not do anything? What's your take on that?
Yeah. So when it comes to ICE, they are federal law enforcement officers, right? They do have a job to do. It is not our job to do the federal government's job, though. Whereas we mentioned, we're already strapped thin enough. We're not going to be doing their job. However, that doesn't mean that you get to interfere with their job. I was asked, someone said, well, you're going to stand up and fight against ICE. No, that's called obstruction. That's called a crime. We're not going to commit a crime, but we're going to ensure that people are safe on both sides of it, right?
Right.
We're going to make sure that the citizens are safe, and we're going to make sure that the federal officers are safe. We don't have a say in what their job is.
That's right.
And I tell people this, and I said this kind of bluntly to a group the other day. I said, if you think that they are wrong, would you rather be rich or would you rather be dead? Because I think if you're wronged, suing them and getting money if they are wrong is probably a better idea than doing something stupid and getting yourself killed.
Yeah. It's like when you pull somebody over. Hey, if you disagree with this ticket, that's fine. Take it in front of the judge. Don't fight with me over it.
100%.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
See, non-divisive.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that.
I do feel like there's a lot of questions in chat that I'm not going to ask because some of these are stuff that fall outside of your purview as sheriff. Like Travis mentioned, that criminals get arrested and released to continue the same actions. That's not really.
That's the prosecutor.
That's the prosecutors, or that's the bail system, or there's a whole bunch of other stuff.
Correct. In fact, with that, if I can say this, piece, so I'm on the board of directors for Leadership Kitsap, and we just hosted Law and Justice Day. And part of Law and Justice Day was we had a panel of chiefs and the sheriff, and then I brought in Shannon Wright to talk about what the prosecutor's office does. And we went through an exercise that's fascinating. And what it was we calculated offender scores for certain crimes. And it's mind-boggling how that process works. The state has created that, right? There's crimes that you're thinking, oh my gosh, this person's going to go away for, years. And it's like 6 months max is all they can actually do.
Right.
And so again, I think that education piece is important for folks to know, is that it's not necessarily even at times that the prosecutors aren't doing their job, and so to speak, it's that the offender score is very limited of what they can actually do or what the judges can do, because they really in the state have gotten rid of the ability for a judge to go outside of a standard range unless there's a very unique circumstance.
So we're supposed to be ending now, but we started a little bit late. You mind going about 10 more minutes with us? Okay. Robert asked an important question. I wanted to ask you about this too, because back when Steve Boyer was sheriff,
he was a good sheriff.
We had a great relationship with him when we were doing AM radio out here. We would have him on. We would have him on a monthly basis. We would just talk to him on a monthly basis. And Steve was great. And to this day, he still connects with me every once in a while on Facebook.
Awesome.
And just says hi. And
he's a good guy.
He's a really good guy.
He says hi to me, and that was way before my time with you guys.
Yeah, Steve's good peep. And Robert also mentioned Gary, and he made a comment that John Geese is a little less accessible, he feels like. Will you commit to being more in public and more of a public face of the agency and coming on shows like ours and doing public appearances and stuff to be kind of the face of the department if you're elected?
100%. That's where I thrive. And John's my boss. I think John is a very good human. We're just different people, right? John's more of a reserved kind of person. That's just his personality. That's not me so much. I like going out and I like talking to people. And, I had a campaign kickoff this last week, and I was telling people, I'm like, if there's somewhere that you have, I want to go to the Outlaw Grange. I want to go to the Gilberton Town Hall. I want to go to the Hansville store, and let's have a conversation and let's do things like this, because I think, look at, the examples for like Derek Sanders down there in Thurston County. There's some things I think might go a little too far with some of the social media things. I think it needs to be more about the organization, not the person. But for me, that's what I see myself doing, is really engaging and showing like, this is the reality. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it, and having those. Side note, Steve Boyer story. So I had to clean behind the lint thing in the dryer or whatever, right? So I pull my dryer out to get the vacuum back there, and I can swear. Yeah. No shit.
Yeah.
I find a Steve Boyer trading card back there.
Are you serious?
That's so rad.
Kid you not. And I'm like, he's everywhere.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
literally everywhere. Yeah.
And I think the thing I appreciate the most about Boyer was that when we were doing AM back in the day,
he would call in on a Sunday night after dinner, man.
He would call in on a Sunday night after dinner. He never told us no to an interview.
Yeah.
He was, even after he wasn't sheriff, he came on a couple times with us just to talk about some of the stuff that we've seen with police issues around the country, just to kind of give a law enforcement professional's view of it.
Yeah.
Like and on my birthday every year, he sends me a message on Facebook. And I know it's not because he really remembers me or cares about me, because we were just casual contacts, but he still takes the time today to send me a message to say, happy birthday. That guy is connected to this community like
100%.
Nobody I've ever seen before or since at any level of politics, right? Just his commitment to just being connected in his community is
and that
untouchable.
is the job of the sheriff, right? That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really quick, John Baker, don't be a cunt. Everybody swears. Get over it.
John Baker said, as sheriff who swears, good example for kids. Your kids should not be listening to this show.
Yeah.
If your children are listening to this show,
you have issues.
There's a whole nother hour we can spend with Brandon talking about that.
My grandson is 10 feet away. He's 4 years old. So are you lecturing to me too?
No.
Yeah,
He's not listening to the show. He's more concerned with crawling around on the floor and playing with the dog.
That's right. That's right. Let me ask one last
Go ahead, Paul.
question, Kev.
Oh,
Go ahead.
real quick. On the Sheriff Boyer stuff, I used to love when he'd come in because he came on numerous shows like KIGC on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the only person that has ever put me in the front of a police car.
That's awesome.
To announce the Path of the Fun parade because the PA system died.
That's
so.
right.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good, good.
So about a year ago, there was some reporting done. I think it might have been the Kitsap Sun that reported on about cartel activity within Kitsap County. Can you tell us anything? I mean, how's that going? Is that a struggle? Do you guys feel like you have it pretty well under control? What are your thoughts on that?
That is an area that we absolutely need to address, right? Because the biggest areas I think that we're seeing, in addition to the influx of drugs, youth violence, youth crime.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with the penalties for youth is much different. And so what we're seeing is older people taking advantage of the youth because they know they can necessarily get away with it.
Right. They've completely changed their way of policing with
Correct.
juveniles, and even in the jail, how they are dealing with offenders in there, or not the jail, the detention center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing now, younger kids that
It's
are
a
involved
hug-a-thug
in the drug
fest.
trade.
Hug-a-thug.
We used to have Westnet, and one of the things that I think is important to let people know
Is it completely gone, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes, Westnet went away, but I've heard different rumors about, it went away because the drug laws changed. No, it's not true, actually. The reason Westnet went away was, at the time, Westnet was a conglomerate of state patrol, all the regional teams. We had some federal partners. That all started to go away, and we were basically hosting Westnet with deputy positions that we didn't have money to host with.
Mhm.
And so the problem was, I think it's multifaceted. A lot of it had to do, marijuana grows back in the day were more of a revenue because we'd see that more often. That went away once the state legalized the marijuana trade.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of the drug stuff, when Westnet was a thing, most of the activities were outside of Kitsap. A lot of times they were down in Tacoma, Pierce County or whatnot. What I think needs to happen is we absolutely need to get a group of that back up and running. It wouldn't be Westnet. It would just be one of my goals that I really want to push forward. would be working more with our local partners and our counties and whatnot. And we just started within the last couple of years, a regional traffic investigation team, right? Bremerton, Paulsbo, Port Orchard. And the model of that is working phenomenally. What I want to see next would be, let's look at what it might look like to create a metro detective model. So you go from the 9 detectives that we have, the 1 on Bainbridge Island, the 4 or 5 in Bremerton, combine those resources and then say, okay, now out of these 20 or 25 of us,
right,
how about you 5 or 6 are going to focus on drugs, guns, human trafficking. You group over here, you're going to focus on our major crimes, our homicide investigations. So I think it's about working together and finding those resources. And a lot of the funding too from that was from federal grants, and unfortunately a lot of those we can't get in Washington State.
Yeah.
So we got to work smart, not hard, and figure out ways, because we can't ignore that problem. When I started back in detectives this last couple of years, we are just now, in fact, we just had a meeting this last week with the prosecutor's office pushing to get back into the drug investigations. I got 2 detectives that we sent. I went down with them to undercover school to just so I know what they're doing and getting them up to speed, figuring out how are we going to look towards that direction and get those investigations going, working with some of our partners up at OpNet and the debt team in Bremerton, some of our federal friends at the DEA and FBI to figure out how do we get this back up and running? What can we do now to start those incremental steps? Because we can't ignore it.
Okay, did you have a question, Paul? Okay,
I'm good.
I got a few other questions in the chat I want to get to, and Donnie has asked this a couple of times, so I'm just going to phrase the question to the way he put it, and you can answer it as you see fit. Quote, will you support your voters and what your community wants or what the governor demands? After all, an appointment is about to override the voters. So the question is, how do you balance that, right? How do you balance between, I'm going to do what the community wants, what my voters said, knowing that there's a panel in Olympia that could come around and say, well, we don't, you're doing what your constituents said, but we don't care. You don't fit what we think you should be doing. How are you going to balance that?
It's a good question.
So I took the FBI LEDA. They have a series that is a command level, a executive level, and a supervisor level leadership course. And I think it was Ann Kirkpatrick, if I remember right. She's now I think the chief down in New Orleans area still. And she said something that's absolutely true, is that if you're not willing to stand on principle and lose your job for doing so, then you should not be a leader in law enforcement. We've seen time and time again, law enforcement leaders that are not willing to say what they need to say. And it may cost you your job, but the integrity of being honest about things is more important. I think that the lack of leaders and the lack of honest conversations like that with the community is what's hurt our profession over the last decade. And that's something that I absolutely want to turn around.
Okay. Donnie also asked, will you detain and hold an illegal criminal and allow ICE to remove the individual from custody?
We legally cannot do that, Donnie. Sorry.
Okay. So explain that.
Yeah. So there is a state law, that the Keep Washington Working Act, that says we cannot do that. What can happen is that the prisons in Washington State can release folks over to ICE custody after a sentence. But the local level, we don't do that at the jail.
Okay, so hold on. I want to just ask some probing questions and make sure I understand. So you guys pick up somebody for assault. Let's just say assault. ... Right? You pick him up. He goes into holding. He goes before a judge. The judge says $10,000 bond, whatever. Right? He can bond out, and you guys are prohibited per state law from keeping him in custody and going against essentially what the judge has said is supposed to happen because of an ICE detainer.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
That's as a result of being a sanctuary state. That's
right.
a direct.
But I just wanted to draw that out for the listeners who may not understand that. It is not a matter then, just to be clear, then I don't tell me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
It's not an issue whether or not the sheriff's department wants to hold him. It's not an issue whether or not the jail can hold him. It's an issue on whether or not you guys are authorized, for lack of a better word, to go against what the judge has issued as the terms of, this is what will release the guy from custody, pay a bond or personal recognizance or whatever, right? So your guys' hands are tied. You can't go against that.
Correct. We couldn't say, that's nice, Your Honor, but we're going to hold this guy anyway. Like, there has to be a crime, and we don't enforce federal law. So again, nothing prohibits somebody from tracking that person down later, right?
Right.
One thing I think it's important too for Donnie, is keep in mind the perspective. Feel however side of immigration you want. It's a federal responsibility. Here locally, I've stared in the face of a woman that has been beaten to a pulp and was scared because she was afraid of her immigration status. I have nothing to do with immigration. What I do care about is somebody in our community that's causing damage to one of our fellow humans in this area.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. I think it's our job to make sure that we hold offenders accountable for their actions here, but we also need to make sure that we're not allowing these people to fall through the cracks because they also deserve safety and security. And I don't want them to feel afraid to call 911 or to talk to a police officer if they're truly in danger.
100%.
And if an ICE detainer comes through, though, it still follows back to that.
That's ICE's responsibility to take care of that.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
There's laws that people are completely unaware of. If you are here illegally and if you suffer at the hands of somebody and they commit a crime against you, that's actually a path to citizenship. Like that. So somebody gets assaulted or beat up, right? And they're here illegally. Yeah, at that point, their claim just got bumped to the head of the line. But people don't know that. It's not something that's published. But their hands are tied. You know, Kitsap County, every county in this state, their hands are tied.
Yeah. I love Stephen, I'm not picking on you, but I love and hate this question at the same time. Because I don't think his support matters one way or the other. I think it's how he's going to choose to enforce it. But the question is, do you support us being a sanctuary state and county?
I think that is the voters' decision to create that, right? I don't care one way or another as an elected sheriff. My job is to keep the people safe and to make sure that we don't have criminals running around our streets causing damage to people.
Okay. But there's only so much you can do, right?
Right.
I worked for the IRS for a decade, right? Which is not the same.
There it is.
You know what?
You guys are still friends?
You know what? Yeah.
Oh my
kinda.
gosh.
But listen, and it's not the same thing. But I've often relegated to the same thing, which is the IRS is tasked with a job by federal code, and they do what federal code tells them to do.
Yep.
They don't have a say in what federal code is. They don't have a say in what their job is. They're just doing what federal code tells them to do.
Yep.
Police officers are kind of the same thing, right?
Yep.
You don't get to pick and choose what you're doing. Although as the sheriff, you would have some leniency there, right? We saw it when what was his name? Lauren Culp ran for governor. Before that, he was famous for, I'm not going to enforce some of the gun laws because I'm the sheriff and this is what I can do. So how do you walk into that office and decide this is where I draw the line? I know you said having integrity and you got to stand up for what you believe in. If you lose your job, then fine. But how do you balance that? Like, this is where I'm not going to back state law. This is where Ferguson's edict doesn't wash in Kitsap County. And this is where I'm going to build the wall. Like, how do you figure that out?
I think it goes back to what I talked about earlier is pushing to the lowest level to make those decisions, right? It's not my edict to tell my deputies, you will do this or you won't do this. The law is the law. If they choose that they want to write an infraction for a car tab, so be it. I'm not going to tell them you will not do that or that you will do that on every single car that you stop. It's not appropriate. It's not appropriate for that individual in that role to be dictating to their people how to do their jobs. Our jobs are more than just enforcement, writing tickets. They're about this community building. They're about the education piece. And you have to allow deputies to make those discretionary decisions because then they're not supported. If you just go in and say, we're doing this, we're doing that, that's not supporting your people.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And we're running late.
Yeah,
Can we do
need
this?
a bathroom break.
Can we do this again with you?
Yeah,
Can we-
absolutely.
Elections in August, right?
Yeah, primary be in August.
Primaries
Yep.
in August. So we're only in February. So
Yeah.
let's do this again.
Yeah.
And maybe as we get into April or May or something, we'll bring it back in. We'll talk again. I have a question I'm going to ask you off the air because I don't believe in putting people under the microscope too much on the air. And the question I'm going to ask you, but
Been in radio 26 years and doesn't believe in putting people under the microscope.
not on the question I'm going to ask him. But Paul, you'll understand why in a second. So don't run out the door as soon as we're done.
Yeah,
it's all
Before we wrap this up, can you provide, if people want to get in contact with you, if they want to know more about your candidacy, if they want to learn more about where you stand on things, how do they track you down?
Yeah, so if you go to BrandonForSheriff.com is the website, or you can look on the Facebooks and go to Brandon Myers for Kitsap County Sheriff. I also links to an Instagram. I'm going to be honest. I'm an early millennial, like 80s, not quite millennial. Instagram's a whole new world for me. There is an Instagram. I'm still figuring out how that functions.
Wait. You are super millennial. What are you talking about?
Instagram's a whole other world.
I don't get it.
Oh,
Elder,
are you?
I think just said the other day, Xennials. Zennials, yes. The
Okay.
end of X, but not quite the millennial yet.
All right.
Like what they said is you still remember a rotary dial phone.
Yeah.
And you also were there for the advent
Of the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rotary dial phone.
I know. My grandma had one in her kitchen. It was the kind you had to hold here and
Yeah.
on the wall, and I would use that every time I was at her house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Do you want to see something hilarious? I saw my part-time gigs with the escape room, and we used to have a room. Yeah, we used to have a room that had a payphone in it.
Oh,
and
gosh.
when you'd get some of these 16, 17, 18-year-old kids to come in there and tell them they had to use the payphone,
What is this?
one of them asked me, how do I get online with this? You Anyway.
Where's the screen?
Yeah. Brandon, listen, man, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks,
for
guys.
coming in.
Appreciate it.
We'll do this again. What I will do for the people that are in chat, because it's been just uber busy, right?
Yeah.
I think when we bring Brandon on next time, and when we bring Rick on, because I want to be fair to both candidates, we'll promote it the day before on our Facebook page. So that if you have questions you want to submit in advance, you can get those into us. We've got time to go through them. It is so hard to run a show and look at the chat and look at Brandon and ask questions. So we'll promote it. We need a little bit better.
You know, you have 3 other co-hosts that could be asking questions while you are prioritizing comments.
Come here, Beulah. No, listen. Come here. I'm not going to touch your hair.
Exactly
No, I'm really not going
Stop
to.
it.
No, I promise I won't. Come here.
If
Come
you
here.
just marry him.
Just lean in here. Listen.
No.
I know that you're here now. I know
Yes.
that you're here now.
Thank you.
But for 20 years of doing this show, when
Mhm.
we've had a political guest on the air.
Yeah.
99% of the questions have fallen to me in perpetuity.
Well, that's because you don't
Paul-
shut the fuck up, buddy.
because Paul has punted it. Paul has punted it. So I have to learn how to play in the sandbox with
Well,
new
you
people.
did a really great job tonight. I
Brandon,
just wanted to
you're
tell
great,
you
man.
that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, love to be back.
Let's do it again.
Sounds
Let's do it
good.
again. All right, Dennis, we're going to go to break. Beeler's 12-year-old bladder is in overdrive. Brandon, the other thing you don't know that we do, as soon as we're done and we come back from break, we're going to talk about you behind your back.
I like it. Do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you get out to the car or whatever, hop back on the Facebook, listen to what we say. about
stand
you.
right there.
Or you can just hang out
Stand
here.
off to the side. That's totally fine too.
Sounds like a plan, guys.
All right. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, Beeler will hopefully take care of that 12-year-old bladder, and we're gonna talk about Brandon
So
behind his
funny.
back.
Every week.
Every
It never
week?
gets old.
I know it doesn't ever get old. Stick around. We'll also look for your guys' comments in the chat as well. Stick around. It's Outlaw Radio. We're back after this.
On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I have to
thank you.
mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network, Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Rain Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Rain Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance. Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
Town sky, pour that rain. Dark side dreams in the home team name. I 5 crawling, but we still fly. Twirls in the backseat, yelling this our time. Fingers cut across that black water. Cold jerseys on deck, all ages. Oh, so screens need a roamer like a beacon at night. We've been down bad, but we still gon' fight. Traffic back up, we just turn up the sound. Tailgate vibe in the middle of town. Paint on my face, that blue, that green. Heart of the city in the heart of the team. Every yard, every inch, put it on the line. Every doubt, every hate, leave it all behind. From the docks to the hill to the front row stands. One loud heartbeat, that's for 12, man.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
It's that Seahawks here right now.
All right, Outlaw Radio.
Damn, Dennis.
That's a good bump.
I hadn't heard that. Nice work, buddy.
No, that was really good.
That was really good.
That's good.
Did you guys hear that the Seahawks stole a coach from San Francisco
I
today?
did.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in that, though.
Why?
Who?
I would have liked for us to have kept our passing game coordinator made in the OC. I think he's going to go to Vegas now, become their OC.
Probably.
Yeah, but
Because that OC takes a lot of his own staff with him. So offensive coordinators generally do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it just is what it is, brother.
I know. But
It's just anything we can steal from the 49ers or the Rams is great.
I don't know. Man. I don't know.
Well, the Patriots clearly suck.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. They were they were at the wrong bowl game.
Do we really want anyone from Frisco? I mean, after
Frisco's been a powerhouse for years.
Hold
but,
on.
dude, they were not a powerhouse this year.
No, hold
that
on.
was
They-
an
hold on.
embarrassing game.
Hold
that
on.
we stomped them at.
Can we be honest?
I thought we were.
The Niners are still a powerhouse.
Yes.
Still a great team. And part of their issues is their guys keep getting hurt.
Yes.
Like, if they were at full strength, would we have beaten them? I don't know. That's a well-coached.
I mean, they
well-run
did beat us the
organization.
first game of the season.
Yeah.
Granted, it's the
It's a
first game.
well-coached, well-run organization that keeps getting their people hurt. So,
Yeah.
okay.
They
Beeler, knock it off.
Oh,
Not
Beeler.
every conversation has to apply to you. You don't have to be enthralled with everything we talk about. My God.
I gotta be
Are
careful.
You sure you're not
I
a
don't-
Democrat?
Oh my gosh.
All
I
right.
cannot.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
You guys are the most divisive people I've ever met in my entire life.
Well, you know what?
Literally.
You know what? Yes.
Yes.
And damn proud of it. Listen, do you know how many people don't realize how fucked up this state is thanks to the Democratic Party? And I'm not a Republican. Not a
You're not?
libertarian either. No, I'm a constitutionalist through and through.
You're a conservative, though. You would.
I'm a constitutional conservative.
and I'm a
Absolutely.
constitutional scholar.
You-
Don't
don't push it. Don't push it.
Let's talk about Brandon behind his
Yes.
back, right?
Yeah.
Behind his face, because he's standing right there.
He turned around for us.
No,
Yeah. You gotta respect that.
So who's going to go first?
You okay?
Oh, our resident true crime
well,
expert.
well, get over here, true crime girl. You got to
Come
get
on.
on camera.
Okay, hold on.
I think
Dennis
it's the
is gonna-
law.
Dennis is going to unmute your mic here in just a second.
Oh, Dennis knows how to keep a woman quiet, doesn't he?
That's right.
He's like, just don't turn the microphone on.
There we go. All right, say hello, boss baby.
Don't look at me like that. You look-
Does Man Chop need one?
No,
No, okay.
no, Manchop is not.
Anyone?
he told me
Anyone?
he will
Lori?
not be on it.
He's not going to be on a mic.
You?
Will
No.
not be on a mic.
Go ahead. What do you think about Brandon?
So I leaned over to the CEO and I was like, "What's that word when people like bad crazy people get people to talk? You know, like get to listen to them?" And she's like, "Charismatic." I'm like, "Yeah, that one." So you guys for the first 20 minutes were just like, just watching, and it was entertaining to watch the dynamic. Mind you, I think he's a great, like, very engaging, very
Yeah.
charismatic person, but it was like, oh, he's almost too good at speaking. Maybe that's the
In other
introvert
words,
in
he's-
me, and I will
yeah.
be the first person in that car for the ride along.
That's right. Okay. All right. All right, who's next?
I dig it. Look, I'll say this.
Go ahead.
I think the only drawback for him as a candidate, because he's got the pedigree and he's got the affiliation and the association with the community, which to me is like probably the most important thing, followed
Right.
closely by experience. I've been here my whole life. Now I will say this: the professor's going to have a lot better insight on that, having been deeply involved in that. So I'm really interested in what she has to say. But for me, it means so much from my perspective, having been the owner of the only strip club in the freaking county, for example, right? Because we worked with law enforcement regularly. We let them use our club for. No, it's the truth. I don't care if you don't like it, but it's still the truth, right? Like we had sting operations that went out of that place, so it was good.
Wow.
The point is that the community involvement is so important to help the community feel safe, right? Like that video that Kevin was going to play of that lady walking outside of the school, right? Like that was visceral to me. I'm like, I would just want to tell that lady, that's really off-putting for you to do that. As
Really
much
horrible.
as you
Yeah.
think that an officer shouldn't sit out front of a school, right? And I can kind of understand that mentality, but it's really inappropriate to approach that officer on duty. Anyway, that was
Are you
just
off your meds?
It was disgusting to me.
Are you off your meds?
Yeah, I stopped taking them for the show.
You can kind of understand that mentality.
Yeah, I can. I said I can kind of, as in I can understand why a person would see a cop sitting across the street from wherever they're at, right? And just if they have the impression that the cop's just hanging out there, right? Because people that like live their lives kind of on the edge of legal stuff and illegal stuff, right? Like that's going to make them nervous.
Right.
Like that honestly was my first impression. Like, oh, okay, you got a son or two in jail. Like that was my thought, right?
Yeah.
Like she's got a reason for talking to that officer that way. But an officer that's comfortable in his community and knows the people, understands the people, and gets around a lot, I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable in that situation. I thought the sheriff said that was a rookie cop or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he
was.
handled it like a pro.
Yeah.
And God bless him for it. But and so the only knock that I would have for Brandon is the fact that we are in an incredibly divided place politically. The sheriff's position is a political position, right? Because they got to deal with all the politics of it. And in running for office, he's having to see that. Like the only negative, right? And I would say the same thing to somebody who was running for sheriff who was a member of the Republican Party, right? If you don't find a way to break away from that, it makes it harder. It makes it harder for half the population to have faith and trust in you, because the other half is going to feel like, oh, you're going to be a political appointee, you're going to represent Republicans, you're going to represent Democrats. Like it's so important to find a way to break away from that. That's that to me. Like,
I mean, okay, one
only
second.
part.
Case in point here,
Yes.
just a second, because you just brought that up, and I think this has been an ongoing issue.
Talk to me,
but,
Goose.
Michelle Caldier, that's
Yeah.
what she did, and
Yeah.
she gets fucking bashed all the time by us.
Yeah.
All the time.
Wait, hold on. She did
That's
what?
what
And
she
what she
did.
did? Hold on. Did what? What did she do?
She reached out within the community to
Yeah.
see what people wanted and implemented that, and then she got lambasted.
Okay, I don't understand that,
I don't
but I'm
think
sure
that's
you
why
can
we bash her. That's not why I bash her. I bash her.
Kevin wants
because
his $20 back.
She's a dishonest
20
shrill.
bucks
That's
for
why
that.
I bash her.
All right, I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I'm just gonna start calling out hypocrisy when I see it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Please
You
do.
should do that.
Yeah.
I have no issue with that.
Okay,
Okay. Tom, do you want to go, or Beulah, do you want to go? Talk about Brandon.
Tom, go ahead.
Well,
So-
Tom's already happy with him because he says he's a libertarian. But go ahead, Tom.
One dot down.
One check in that box does not make somebody a libertarian.
Okay, amen.
Okay.
Tell the libertarian that.
Actually,
You're gonna
she's
agree.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm sure that he and I probably don't agree on
99%.
no, like conversation about taxes.
Yeah.
I don't agree with any of you in here about taxes.
No, but look, you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Yeah. So I mean,
But I brought it up and got lambasted by the professor.
party stuff aside. One of and we were talking about here just a few moments ago about how that cop in Thurston County and the relationship between police and the community.
Yep.
So when us old farts, when we were kids, you remember career day or whatever.
Well, when we were kids, we used to walk up and ask them for stickers all the
When I
time.
was a child, I had to walk up the hill in the snow both ways.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about, though. You as a little kid, you go talk to the cop. you know, or the police would come to your school
Yep.
and you'd have, you know, career day or whatever. And it
Right.
was, you know, the cops were great guys and the firefighters were great guys. And,
Yep.
and you know, it sounds to me like that's maybe the approach that he was getting towards, you know, because I'm like Boss Baby pointed out, you know, I mean, he really is, he's a good public speaker.
Yeah. But what's the problem with that, Tom?
It-
Is
it-
that
no,
they can't do that, right? Because so many people in the community want to just hate.
But what I think the cure to that is damn the torpedoes and do it anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
Full speed ahead, brother.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, you go out, you engage with the community and show that the stereotype that's trying to be pushed right now
Mhm.
is incorrect.
Yeah, I totally agree because it is incorrect.
Right.
But it's being pushed based on political narratives, right? Hands
Right.
up, don't
Right.
shoot was a
Right.
fallacy.
Right.
So it makes it harder for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Beeler, what do you got?
I would just say to Paul's point, I do also like that he was born and raised here.
Yeah.
I think that's the roots that come with that is deeply entwined within who you are.
Does it make it real personal, you think?
Yeah,
I think it does.
I think it really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I ran for office, I was super proud to be representing
Mhm.
my hometown, my people.
Darn straight.
Yeah. So I do like that. I like that he has a sense of humor. That's nice. And yes, he cursed. That's always a plus in my book.
I think that makes him real.
Seriously, right? That is normal.
I mean, like you're the one person can appreciate that.
When it comes down to it, politicians, they're normal people
That's
too.
right.
They put their
That's right.
pants on one leg at a time.
That's right.
Listen,
Whether
the
they were in the Epstein files or not.
The people that are freaking out over people swearing are the same people, and I've been trying not to swear on the show because I'm trying to be a good boy, but they're the same people that make signs that say "fuck ICE." So you can't have it both ways, right? You can't be all offended in your stuff because somebody said a bad word, but you got it on your sign. Shut up.
Yes, you can.
Here's the deal.
In today's world,
Well, you can be offended about anything, really.
You also got kids that identify as cats, so
That's right.
anything's possible.
That's right.
So I'll give the good, then I'll give the bad from my perspective. One, I think he's intelligent as hell. I think he's smart. I think he's done this long enough. He knows the way that the job has to.
I mean, he's a Central Kitsap High School grad, so let's not overdo it.
Well, at least he didn't go to Ole. I did hear that people were wiping their asses with their Ole diplomas.
Oh, please.
So, I mean, I think he's a great communicator, which I think works well in that
Absolutely.
environment as a
Yep.
sheriff, because you're not only communicating to the public, but you're communicating to the people that work for you,
Yeah.
right? And as a leader, he talked a lot about leadership. As a leader, you've got to be able to communicate.
Kevin, we
Down-
have
down the
seen,
chain.
and let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We have seen in 26 years of doing this, a lot of people that are in elected positions come and go. And I'm curious if you agree with me, but the ones that I've always found that have done the best are the ones that are always out there, they're always in public, and they're always talking.
Yeah, I think so.
Like Patty Lynn.
Patty Lynn and even Greg Wheeler, who is out talking to
Yes.
people all the time. And there's a reason he wins the elections pretty resoundingly when he runs, is because people know who he is. They know what his vision is. He's communicated that. I think it's really important.
He's making his touches. Those are so
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
when you're running for office.
Right. I remember
Yeah.
us saying that about him when he won. Surprisingly, it was like he knocked on every door
Yeah.
because he wanted it more and he worked harder.
Right.
Yeah.
The question for Brandon will be, if he's elected, does he maintain that? Right.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen people get elected and they lose that connection.
Yep.
Right. So we won't know that till he's in there, if he makes it in there.
That's right.
The concern I have is, and I want to go back to what you had said earlier.
Yeah.
Is it's so awkward because he's standing right there. It is, no, but I'm going to say it because he'll just arrest me on the way home. The challenge is, it's very hard for me to hear somebody say bipartisan when you're a PCO, when you've been the vice chair, when you've been active in the party.
Yeah, that's a very valid
Those
point.
two dynamics conflict with me a little bit. Not that he can't be independent from that, but in the climate that we're in and the division that we've seen from both parties, it makes it harder for me to take those two images and somehow correlate them together.
So I think that's a great point. And the only thing that I could add to that was, and if I had time to keep going and expanding on the conversation, I would have, because, and you guys tell me how you feel about this, but I have noticed from my position sitting here behind the microphone over the years, a lot of people will come in and they'll tell you they're a Republican or they'll tell you they're a Democrat. And it is so contrived, right? And there are so many issues that go so many different directions nowadays. Kevin, you have told everybody on this show for 26 years, you're a Democrat.
I am a Democrat.
But almost everything that you talk about on this show says otherwise.
Right.
And so it's I just think that it's so easy now for people to say, well, I'm a Democrat. My parents were Democrats. My grandparents were Democrats, right? But yet when they sit down and check off boxes for each of those issues, they're really not, right? Or it's like taking the test and finding out that they're libertarian when they've been voting Republican their whole life, right? I think now, and that's the problem that I had with people who are reaching out to me and contacting me about, well, he's a partisan, right? I don't even know how much that really applies anymore these days, because there's so many issues that so many people are unaware of. They don't even know what they're voting for, right? Like when you look at some, I don't mean to offend you when I say this. When I point out that Democrats have controlled everything in this state since '88, I want people to know that by continually voting for the same party election after election after election, we got this shithole now, and that's why. I don't want people to forget it. I want it to get beat into their head like a drum, and because it matters.
It does matter. It absolutely does.
And so Steven said, well, first BJ said, I thought they had to choose a side. You don't have to choose a side. You can run as an independent. Steven said,
yeah, but you don't get money that way.
That's right. That's hard. And that's the other.
That's
right,
why
yes.
people choose a party.
Yes, and that's there you go.
That's what Steven said. He can still run as an independent. Let me tell you, Steve, why that's a bad idea.
It's a horrible idea.
One, it's a bad idea because there's money to be had associated with the party. He was active with the party beforehand, so it would seem disingenuous. Like he said, I want to be honest about where I've been. Right?
And it'd be the first thing they'd obliterate him for.
Yeah, they would rip his ass up if he was like, I'm an independent. Well, no, you're not, because you were a Democrat. Why are you hiding it? So he's not hiding it. Now he's taking crap for it.
Yeah.
But secondly, let's just be honest. In this county that's voting, a D next to your name is a benefit. I mean, it's a benefit. Bainbridge is going to vote. Central Kitsap is going to vote. North Kitsap's going to vote. Paulsbo's going to vote, right? So
Paulsbo for all, sponsor of this show.
Putting a D next to your name is not a negative. Like Rick with an R next to his name. There are people who will not vote for Rick because he's got an R next to his name.
Yes.
And there's more of them that are going to vote the opposite way. So again, I'm not diminishing Brandon's candidacy at all, but why would you not take advantage of the wind behind your sails? Right? There's some advantages to running as a D in this district, and he's owning who he is and where he's been and what he's done.
Right.
And it's going to benefit him. Like, why? That'd be like the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl and going, well, we know we're going to beat the Patriots, but let's spot them 2 touchdowns. Wouldn't do that. None of you in the chat would be like, I'm going to neuter myself and make it harder for me to do something I really want to do just because. Stop it. Knock it off. You wouldn't do it. Don't expect him to.
Yeah.
That's
well,
stupid.
I would say there is something to be said with the fact that he brought in 6 Republicans and 6 Democrats to help him with this campaign. I think that speaks volumes.
I would love
maybe to the person that he is. I don't know him well enough to be able to make that judgment one way or another.
But I would love to know the makeup of the Dems and the Republicans, right? Because
I know a couple of the Republicans
because they're no longer blues and reds now. There are varying shades on both sides. You have the moderate blue dog Dems like I am. I think that he kind of attributed himself to be. And then you have the far left Dems. You have the right conservative Republicans and the MAGA Republicans and the moderate Republicans.
I was going to point out that he sounded a lot like a Kennedy Democrat, but then I realized he probably wouldn't know what I was talking about.
he wasn't.
Sorry, no AIDS joke. That's all good.
Wasn't born until later. He's like he thinks of Kennedy like we think of Lincoln,
right? I said none of us were alive for Kennedy either.
I know. Really.
No. Listen, I just my first impressions, having spoke with Rick a couple weeks ago, spoke with Brandon tonight. I think we have 2 solid candidates
we do.
to choose from, right? Yeah. And really, it always comes back to me to the same thing. Do your research, read up on them, ignore the letter next to their name because it really is inconsequential. Now, a good number of voters are going to vote based on the letter no matter what because you're lemmings, and that's fine.
No, it's not. It's because the people that they support are putting the policies into effect that they want. There's nothing more to it than that.
But I think there is more to it than that because just the Democrat.
If you two ever got married, your house would be a hellhole.
Yeah. Well,
oh my
that
God!
is never
The
gonna
fighting
happen.
the fighting in your house would be crazy.
But listen,
I'm just saying.
It's never gonna happen. Just stop.
Listen, the problem is there's such a continuum on the Democrat on the left side that just calling yourself a Democrat now tells me nothing about where you stand.
That was my point earlier. Yes.
In the old days, when I was a child, it meant something to be a Democrat. You could discern what people stood for. Now that the spectrum is so wide, calling yourself a Democrat or calling yourself a Republican tells me nothing. So I need more dirt than that. I need to do the research. You all should do the research.
Everybody should.
Get to the bottom of it. Ignore the letter and actually look into what it means because being calling yourself a Democrat means absolutely nothing now.
The problem that
Calling yourself a
exists,
libertarian means you have no shot in hell. But go
no,
ahead.
and the problem that exists right now is the fact that, I mean, you want people to do homework before they vote. Fuck, I just want them to go out and vote.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. What do we got? A 29% turnout?
I mean,
Well, we have 32% in this county.
Something.
for
It's
the last
really,
election.
it's pathetically small.
Horrible. I mean,
just get off your ass and
midterm.
vote for crying out loud. I mean,
Seriously.
we should have voter turnout in the 80%.
We should.
At least.
There was
should.
one comment in chat. I'm going to end this with the Brandon segment. There was one comment in chat where somebody said, and I don't know how valid this is. I was going to ask Brandon about it because there's no way he could answer it without it sounding like either he's lying or he's pumping himself up or whatever. But somebody commented in chat and they said there's a lot of people that are waiting to retire because they want to wait for him to come into office. They want him in office. I think that says something. If that's true, if you have deputies that don't want to leave because they believe that when he comes in, things are going to change and make it a better place for them to be and a better place for them to serve, and they want to stick around because they want to be a part of him as sheriff. If that's true, that's a vote of confidence. That will mean a lot. Both in how they do their job, in public perception, and all that.
I think my life of being self-employed, that's not something I'd be familiar with. Like, that's just an odd statement to make to me. But I mean, I could understand, I guess.
Yeah. Well, listen, in my job, it was much easier to do my job before Trump was president than it is now.
Wait, it was easier before Trump was president than it is now? Why, you got to work more?
No.
You get a little email saying you got to
No
give us
more
the
work
7
from
things you've
home?
done this week.
Listen, the difference is the attitude, the atmosphere, right? My job has not changed. What I do
is important.
Right. It's
Yeah.
important. It hasn't
Yeah.
changed. But the atmosphere, the air in the building, the tone from upper leadership, how you sound valid or don't sound valid is important. And morale is important. Now, for me, I try not to swear on the show. I give two fucks, right? I'm going to go to work every day and I'm going to serve vets and I'm going to do my job and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability regardless. But
I love you. I'm not going to say anything about what you said, Week.
but there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that get weighed down when upper management is saying you're not important. You're not irreplaceable. You're not key to what we do. And that's a lot of what we heard out of the administration since Trump took office.
Yeah, we have very
All of you
different thoughts on this.
All of you federal employees are unimportant and replaceable, and you're spoiled, and you don't
guys
really
are
work.
fucking spoiled.
I'm not spoiled. You bite your tongue.
Spoiled.
Whatever.
Just to point out for the listeners, Kevin was the first
And I
person to
was
come in on the
spoiled.
show when he got that email about give us 5 things you did last
That
week.
email was so stupid.
Well, there you go.
There's 1.3 million federal employees. Do you honestly believe that anybody read the emails? 1.3 million emails? Do you think somebody in the Trump administration was sitting at their desk with their little spectacles on, going through 1.3 million emails to look at
No,
the
they
5
probably
things we
ran it through an algorithm, just told them who answered and who didn't.
So stupid.
Because that's the only thing that probably mattered to them.
So dumb.
But when you receive taxpayer dollars, you have to be a good steward of the money.
That's true.
You know what? I get evaluated every year on what I do, and do I make my metrics? Do I do my
Well,
things?
so
That
do
shows if I'm a good
the luring centers in Minnesota, apparently.
well, not by Tim Walsh. That's the gift that never quits giving, by the way. But anyway, thanks for Brandon for coming in. You can find out more. Brandon Myers, BrandonForSheriff.com. You can find him there. Google him on online. Look for him on Facebook. He's on Insta. I'm not even on Insta. But yeah,
You're old.
I don't know how to work Insta.
Yeah,
It's just part of Facebook, isn't it? I thought it was all.
Well, it's all owned by Meta.
Insta's all different. I don't know. I miss the days of one social media called MySpace, and it was so much easier, so much better.
I
Right.
didn't even have a MySpace.
Brandon, did you ever have a MySpace?
I
Did you?
did
Okay,
too.
all right. He's not that.
I
young
did
then.
too.
All right. Yeah, you, Tom was your friend. Yeah, you just left Tom just in case. I was like, screw you, Tom. You've never done nothing for me in my life. Get off my friend list. You're not part of my top.
Whatever. I wish we had
Tom.
MySpace.
Tom, he was your number one friend in MySpace.
Tom from MySpace.
Oh, I never had a MySpace. So
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. This will be one of the fun races to watch, though, right?
I think so.
The sheriff's race. I think it'll be one of the fun races to watch.
I think it's going to be competitive.
I think we have 2 good candidates, and it can only be competitive if people get off their ass and vote. please vote.
Yeah,
Please do your homework. and
regardless
vote.
of who you're supporting, just seriously vote.
Yeah.
But do
Please
your
don't.
homework. Like, do your
Please,
due
yeah.
diligence. Be a responsible
I know,
citizen.
but now
I
it
think
is-
we have shown beyond a reasonable doubt that the general electorate is generally dumb. Like they don't take the time at all.
Well, I can prove that they're dumb.
We can.
Caldeer gets reelected every 2 years. I can prove that they're and when she had a chance to do something monumental and important, she got her ass kicked. Like,
okay, stop.
disappointment. Oh my God.
Years ago,
Stop. It doesn't feel good to lose. Oh man.
years
okay?
ago,
So you don't need to rub that in people's faces.
when Kevin and I were broadcasting election night live through the Kitsap Sun's website at the time,
They've never
we
asked us to do
calculated
that again.
what that wasn't our fault. We were able to show mathematically that based on the Kitsap Sun's recommendations, and this goes to show how stupid the general electorate is, right? The people that they endorsed got a 7 to 9% jump.
Yes.
Just based on the Sun's endorsement.
Do you think that's still true?
I don't know. It's a good question.
'Cause I don't
do you
think
know
that
anybody
there's-
that
You can't get past our paywall to see it.
I was just
I don't
gonna,
think there's 7 to 9 people that are still reading the Kids episode.
I don't know, man.
And by the way, David Nelson, editor down there, I still love you. You're a great dude.
Whatever. I don't like you. Get rid of your paywall.
Well, hold on. That's not his decision. That's
If it's
Gannon.
community related, we should be able to read it.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
And my job also got outsourced to the Philippines when I worked there. So whatever, they can.
Yeah, it's hard to look at a local newspaper seriously when they fire the local people working there to hire folks in another country.
I get it.
Shocker.
But if you want to read the Kitsap Sun, just get a copy of USA Today.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what people do online? It's great. One person pays a subscription.
Yeah.
And then they just post the
Screenshot
articles.
it. It's
Then they just-
awesome.
then
They're
they
the
just-
real heroes.
Then they just post
Yep.
the articles on Facebook for the rest of us to see because I will not pay a subscription fee for that. I won't. If they were doing real investigative journalism, if they were doing real stuff in the
Yeah,
community,
then it'd be worth paying for.
98% of what they post in the Sun is regurgitation from the USA Today newsfeed.
You know, which I forgot to talk to Brandon. I was going to ask him about, because I'm a big fan of Audit the Audit, and seeing a Kitsap County deputy ending up on that website, that was just golden. I don't know who's seen it or who hasn't seen it, but
I haven't seen
it's
it.
great. And it's First Amendment auditors are a trip. Like half of them are actually doing it for the right reasons. The other half of them are doing it just for clicks and to make money. But the whole idea is you do your research, you go out to a place where it's public property and you stand out there with a camera. You don't even have to take pictures now, but you stand out there and usually it's in front of a bank or something like that because you have the right to go out there and take pictures as long as you're on public property, right? You do your research, you make sure, and then you just wait for them to come out and give you shit. Right. And then ultimately they end up calling the cops. And basically all it is you're just testing to make sure that the local law enforcement knows the laws with regards to the First Amendment.
Didn't we have one of those guys come in when we met John? The guy that was with him.
Okay, so I think maybe his ultimate goal is to be one.
Okay.
But he's not really one.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's really doing it to get the clicks, although he's been getting better. And he and I had a long discussion about not being the story, right?
Yeah.
Being on the outside, not being a participant to
Right.
it. And so I've seen him getting better with this stuff.
Yeah.
Robert said in chat, at least Caldeer can raise money. How about Outlaw?
Hey, Robert, we have an income, so screw you. Thank
And
you,
by the way-
Destination Highway 420.
And by the way, if I put an R next to us, Outlaw Radio Network parentheses R, given the state of the party in this county, I think people would give us money, Robert. Literally, your party's getting its ass kicked out here, man. You're going to brag? You guys have lost every single pertinent race with the exception of Michelle Caldeer in the county, and you're going to brag? That's like the Patriots bragging about going to the Super Bowl and getting their asses kicked. Congratulations. You're the number 2 party in the county. How's that working out for you?
Kevin.
Parker,
Kevin,
yeah.
You need
Zip it.
No, I'm
Yeah, Kevin,
serious.
zip it.
Am I wrong?
Well,
They're not in a position to brag.
No, that's not what he was doing. He wasn't bragging about anything.
No, he wasn't bragging.
I know. I just got to give Robert crap back.
He
That's
was
all.
making a joke that wasn't funny because we do have a sponsor. Thank you.
We actually have multiple sponsors.
We do. But we have one that's helping us boost our ratings.
I know.
Funding the whole operation.
Yeah, the whole operation.
Destination Highway 420. Check him out on Hollow Street in East Bremerton, right across the street from the Cloverleaf.
Which, by the way, guys, I did the Mama Chan's farm tour with them on Friday.
How was that?
What was that?
It was so amazing. I was fascinated by everything that was coming out of their mouths. It was just learning
I'm so
about
glad I
how
missed
they
it.
go from the mom plant and snipping and getting it growing, and then they change it to different lights.
Were they indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
Indoors, all of them?
Yeah, I mean,
Because the rules are different if they're indoor versus outdoor,
Robert
right?
Touche.
I don't know. I didn't ask that question, but that would have been a really great question to ask.
Yeah, if I had not been working, I was going to be there. That was the plan, but
Yeah, no, just the scientific aspect of it,
Yeah.
and learning those types of things was really cool. We met the extractor who gets out the resin.
all the different, yeah.
It's amazing to me how people portray people who are in the cannabis industry as they're dumb, they're high, they're potheads, they're not very bright, right?
Oh God.
I think it takes some brains to extract the essence of a plant.
The work that goes into all of that on the background and the knowledge they have to sell it, and like again, I never done it, never will, no issue with it. But just I used to take my mom down because she would pick stuff up because of her some of her pain issues and stuff.
You wouldn't go in for her?
No, I would take her in
Oh, okay.
because she would have to ask the question.
Just checking.
Just
She was in a
Kevin's been
wheelchair. She was in a
adamant over
wheelchair.
the years about never touching that stuff. And I just want to remind everybody, Kevin's annual WrestleMania party's coming up. It's the perfect time for a good practical joke. Just saying.
It is not.
That
but-
wouldn't be nice.
But it's not like you walk into a place and you're like, can I get some weed? Like there's so many varieties and delivery
Yeah, there's
methods
so
and
much to learn.
There's so much stuff
Yeah.
to know. Like,
But the culture has changed.
Yeah.
For sure, Dennis.
Because, you know, back when I started smoking,
Yeah.
you had to know a dude. You had to have a guy.
Yeah.
And you know what you got to pick from? The one strain that he had.
Yep, and he wasn't
You
even
take
sure
it
what
or
it
leave
was.
it.
Yeah.
And he didn't even know what it was, other than
Yeah.
pot.
It made for strange bedfellows,
This gonna
man.
get you high.
My oldest son that I just came back from Texas with, his best friend's mom married her dealer. That is the
That is
world
some
that it
white
created.
trash shit right
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
All right. Also, Robert said we still raise more money than Outlaw. Robert, I just have a question for you.
We're not running a campaign, Robert. So shut the hell
But
up.
if you raise a lot of money and then you spend it back in a candidate who loses, did you really raise any money? That's the question.
Okay, stop talking
I'm just-
about losing
I'm
candidates.
just giving him a hard
Dick,
time. I'm
man.
just pushing back, man. He's giving me a hard time. I got to give him one too.
Yeah, Parker's on a rampage tonight. I'm
I
not.
guess so. I guess so. All right. We're 8 minutes from the top of the hour. I don't want to start another topic because
Well, we could
Beeler's-
go back to the weed tour because I did have some more stuff
Okay,
to
hold
talk
on.
about.
Yeah, because Beeler's going to have to take care of her 12-year-old bladder in about 8 minutes. So tell us more about the weed tour. Don't give me that look.
The first thing I did was go to the bathroom when I got there.
I'm sure you did.
Well, it was a long drive, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. So it was just Oh, Brandon, thanks for coming in. Good
Thanks,
to meet
Brandon.
you. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So
Good to see you, man.
Take care,
Brandon. We'll be in touch to have you on again. Thanks, Brandon.
from East Bremerton to when you get to that spot right there in Tacoma before you either go south.
You're talking about the Nally Valley Viaduct?
Yeah, right in there. You
Where
you
it
always get hit with
smells
that smell. Yeah, it was down in there.
delightful.
So yeah, it really
I don't know what
does.
you're talking about, but okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So in my mind, when they said pot farm tour, I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna go out to a farm. Like I had my boots on, like
Yeah.
we're going out to a farm. We pull up to this industrial building with like razor wire around it, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. But this is not a farm.
Yeah, Kevin. When you go through Tacoma on Highway 16 before it
Yes.
splits off to I-5?
Yes.
That's the Nally Valley. It's right there.
right where the big flag is.
Yeah, where the Union Avenue exit.
Okay.
All of those industrial buildings down there, lots of them.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I had
yeah.
no idea. Okay.
You don't smell it?
No. I
It
don't-
does. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I drive through there, I smell it every time. It's like,
Yeah.
I know I poured the concrete floor of one many years ago.
oh yeah.
Right when it first got legalized.
Yeah.
And it was huge. It was huge warehouse floor, and they had torn it up everywhere because they ran water lines and everything.
Right.
And new electrical wires and
Probably
stuff
did.
for
Yeah.
fans and all that stuff. Yeah. But I mean, it was fascinating. I didn't know anything about the stuff at the time, but it was a very complex operation.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it. Just
100%.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
just amazing to see and to hear the passion that they have about it.
Yeah.
Was really, really it really made my heart happy.
I will tell you, man, I never appreciated it until I ended up getting the restless leg syndrome really bad.
Yeah.
And it was literally the only thing that allowed me to get sleep.
Yeah.
The only thing.
Yeah. My daughter has that.
Yeah. The one thing that I found, and I've got it to the point now where I'll have it for a month.
Wow.
Right. And so when you're going a month and you're only getting an hour of sleep a night,
Mhm.
maybe two, and it's not straight, right?
Right.
You will start losing your ever loving mind.
Right.
And so I was desperate. and I started using the Rick Simpson oil, which worked at first.
Yeah.
But then it stopped working. And so then I had to, I listened to a speech by a doctor, and she had it really bad. She had an extreme case like I did.
Yeah.
And she ended up finding a 4-to-1 product that worked. And sure enough, it was, I finally had, I took her advice and finally, oh my God. So it was THC, CBD, CBG, and CBN.
CBN.
Yeah, I had all 4 of them in it at 10 milligrams each. And all it did was knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like that. But I was so thankful. You know, I take that 20 minutes later, I'm gone. You know, I mean, I'm doing backstrokes from Mars to back. You know, I mean, it was just, yeah, it was something else.
Right on.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you took out of the tour that stood out to you?
Yeah, so we met this like famous YouTuber guy that has a podcast, Harry Dabbs. He's the extractor for them, and so he gets the resin out of.
Did you get his contact info by any chance? He'd be cool to have on the show.
I can definitely get it because the
You should do
people
that.
at Mama Sean's farm were super amazing people.
Awesome.
And thank you for letting us tour. And especially thank you to Destination Highway 420 who invited us.
Yep.
And hopefully more people will be able to come on the next one because I think it would be really great to get some video and be set up and be able to show the process to people.
They're complex with their security too, aren't they? I mean, I don't know if you guys got a chance,
yeah.
but it's serious.
Yeah, and we had to put on like suits and stuff and hairnets and yeah.
Would they make me wear a hairnet?
I don't know, maybe not.
Huh.
Yeah, but maybe if nobody had to put a face net on, but that would have been probably good.
Well, I mean, you know, especially around an open flame, you could be like Amber's cat over there that walked past her candle today, and her tail went right through the candle.
Yeah.
House smelled like burnt hair for an hour.
Yeah. So it was just a really great time. I'm glad I got to experience that.
That's cool.
I'm bummed I missed it. I was set to go, and then
Yeah, you
business
got
and
busy.
life
Yeah.
happened, and you know,
Adulting.
How dare you, adult? What are you thinking?
Adulting is
Yeah.
hard,
It really is.
but necessary.
Yeah. It is.
That's the libertarian thought process, right? Adulting is hard, but necessary.
Pretty much.
What else are you going to say, right?
Not much.
Amen. Amen. I dig it, brother. I dig it.
Freaking men.
I dig it. Hey, we only got like what, a minute, 2 minutes before break, right?
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I take a second and talk about how abso-fucking-lutely correct I was about the fucking Super Bowl? Absolutely correct. I think I might have been right on every pick.
I'm going to go through that in a little bit. We'll talk about that later.
I just wanted to relish in it for a minute. I was on the road watching it, so I'm like literally like watching it on my phone as we're driving through Death Valley. I got to stop at Coachella though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow, how was that for you?
Wait,
It was a shitstone.
I say, was
that
there
was
anything
horrible.
Active?
Was it?
What was it like? Coachella, or was it just a?
I just drove through the town.
Oh,
yeah, I just drove through the town,
there was no
and I'm telling you, that town was a shit show. It was ugly. It stunk. It smelled. There were bums everywhere. I mean, it was not particularly like. I mean, if you didn't know a big festival went on every there, you would have just thought, "Oh, this is another Southern California shit show."
Yeah.
You know, that's what it looked like. I was just like, nothing here. So as we were driving back, my son and I kept finding like, well, how come our cell phones, like we had them plugged in, but the charge wasn't going up. It was staying neutral. And it turned out he had a little Toyota Yaris, which was a nice little car, front wheel drive and everything. So it was cool. And there's more room than it looked like. But he had a bad breaker, right?
Oh.
Well, it's like this, not a mini, but a mini breaker.
Oh.
So we couldn't find one to replace it at any of the truck stops. And so we were getting ready to come through Death Valley and the sun was going down. And I'm like, we don't want to end up in Death Valley and have something go wrong and no fucking cell phone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's bad juju. So I went into the truck stop and bought a solar charger, right?
Mm.
And my son looks at me, he's like, you're an idiot. It's a solar charger. I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot because I bought a solar charger. Except I read the fucking back where it says it comes fully charged. Like, there's a reason I'm over twice your age, dude. I'm smarter than you. Relax. I got this. We're good.
It was nice. On a sentimental note, it was nice to see Hunter when you guys got back into town, when you came by to pick up your truck.
Yeah, and he'll be able to be around now. And like I said, I'm making arrangements with him and a couple of his friends that they're very interested in doing their own like 1 hour show a month or maybe a week or whatever, something like that. They're very, very politically into stuff. But I have been his generation. A lot of the guys that are in the service with him at his age, they are farther to the right. It shocked me, the level to which they are to the right, and not just to the right, not just Republican, but they're far to the right.
We've heard about that, right? That there is a resurgence of conservative and Republican ideals in that age.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes down to a very simple fact: they don't believe that Republicans or Democrats have the best interest of this country at heart. Like their generation, like how are we ever going to afford a house?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so they look at elected politicians that have been there for all, and they're like, none of you have done anything for us. Yeah. So and they have very I hate to use this word, but very militant attitudes about it. You know, they're just like, F it, we need to wipe the slate clean and freaking start over, just like the founders did. And that's how, there was a lot of them like that, man. A lot of them. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, Robert asked who the headless person was next to Paul. That's Isaac. You just can't see his head on the camera, but that's Tom.
That's Tom.
It's okay. It's okay, Isaac.
They can't see Isaac. It's okay, buddy. All right, we're gonna go to break. We're gonna let Beeler's 9-year-old bladder have a break. And,
now it's 9. Okay,
it's regressing.
Great.
It's like the curious case of Benjamin Button.
The way he keeps talking about your bladder and its age, and the age keeps going down, I'm almost feeling like Kevin is
pedo-ish.
What do they call? There's a new word for it. There's a new word for it. It's a.
All right, well, we're going to go to break.
Minor attracted, a minor attracted person.
Jesus,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing now. And they're saying that they're just like LGBTQs. They can't control who they're attracted to.
Break is next. We'll be back. 1 more hour to go. It's Outlaw Radio
Network.com.
Seahawks song.
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Ring Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Ring Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Ring Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance. Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager fell victim to fake pills. Smells like big crime that needs to be stopped. Where are these pills coming from, and how are kids getting them? Right from under our noses, crooks are targeting kids on social media and selling them counterfeit pills that could seal their fate with a click of a button. It may seem harmless. Maybe it doesn't even seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. So before buying pills online, think about this. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Think these pills are tested and safe? Think they're the same ones you get from a doctor? You know they're not. Did you know that many fake pills contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal? Listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I have to mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network, Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network, powered by our friends at Destination Highway 420, proudly supporting our veterans in the Bremerton community. Visit them online at destinationhighway420.com. 21 and over.
Cannabis has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Keep out of the reach of children.
This is the Kitsap here at 12's Road. Top story beef and shutting down the door. You won't store corn when we step inside. Blue and green thunder shaking every side. Locked in and loaded. No place to hide. Seattle Seahawks.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
This is a dark side. You feel it now. The egg is tired. Fly keeps ticking.
Outlaw Radio, by the way, they're not a sponsor, but these really cool Seahawk NFL champion shirts are available at Costco for how much were they, Lori? Like $12? They weren't very expensive. Maybe they were 19.
Yeah, they look cheap.
Oh, they're perfect. They're great. They're light. They're good fabric.
I don't know. It's hard for me, man. I bought this good friend of mine for Christmas this awesome freaking hat that he's never worn since.
No, hold on.
But that's just me.
Hold on. I
That's
told
just
you
me.
why I don't wear it. I'm saving it for when we do events. I sweat a lot in the hat, and I don't want to get all the sweat
Gross.
stains and stuff in the brim.
Gross.
So it's sitting next to my bed. Literally, it's next to my bed. What?
Bathe.
No, I sweat when I'm wearing the hat. You punk.
You can wash it in the dishwasher.
I gotta buy one of those form things.
Yeah.
I gotta buy
Yeah.
one of those. I'll do that though.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, guess what's coming up in May?
What?
I graduate my master's in May.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yeah, I got less than 2 months to go.
That's awesome, Kevin.
No.
Congratulations
Less than 3
early.
months to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
These brownies are so rich, man. It tickles the inside of my throat.
If any,
Yeah, it does.
these are the Jeff Bezos of brownies. Okay. Anyway.
Lori's laugh is killing me right now.
All right. Paul, do you have anything? I have a topic, but I don't, and it won't be a long topic. but
Yeah,
I-
Paul has a topic.
But I have a policy.
brownie, man.
All right.
He has an erection.
It's all her fault.
I hate you guys.
Dennis,
Did I miss the Beavis and Butthead?
you sure did.
Play it
And
again.
no.
He has an erection.
It's all her fault.
You said it's all her fault?
That's great.
Yeah, it's all her fault.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
let me just say this. I'm totally sick of Savannah Guthrie's kidnapped mom story.
I'm kind of there with you.
I think it's sad.
It is
I really
sad,
do.
but damn,
But
it
because-
leads every freaking morning, man,
Well,
for like
and look,
10 days.
It gets back to what I've said the whole time. In fact, I wish Boss Baby was here. She could verify this. We suddenly, in this country, the media only covers it when it's an attractive white girl that goes missing. Like I listened to 2020 Dateline and another 48 Hours when I work because I have podcasts in my ear when I'm working, so it's not totally quiet. And every time I hear the start of something, they give a name, I will Google the name because I want to just see if it continues to back my assumption. And 99.9% of the time, it's an attractive white girl.
Yeah.
And usually blonde, right?
No, I haven't paid attention to as much about hair color, but attractive white woman, like 99% of the time. Meanwhile, MMIW is still a thing. Violence in minority communities is still a thing.
Right.
The rates of violence and sexual violence against Latinas and Black women is considerably higher than white women per capita. And yet we only talk about attractive white women. And the only reason why we're talking about this woman is because her daughter is an attractive white woman.
I
Like that's it. She's a famous, attractive white woman.
I hadn't heard about it until you.
Because you've not been on social media.
No,
because it's everywhere.
I've been too damn busy.
But they're covering this. They're not covering
Things like the Epstein files,
right? Exactly.
Or Pam Bondi, sitting in front of Congress last week, and it's not that they're not covering it, but they're not giving it the attention they need to be.
Yeah,
right.
It's a human interest piece. I get that. I don't disagree with it, but it's not a 24/7 human interest piece. You're talking about one rich, famous woman whose mother disappeared.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm not trying to sound callous, but yeah, it's just like, damn,
And
really?
do you know what came out over the weekend about the Epstein files? The DOJ announced this weekend there are no more files to release. They're not going to release any more files, and they're not going to do any corrections on the redactions.
Well, they don't. Okay. So, but that's not the whole story, Kev. The story is that each member of Congress has access to a SCIF to go in and view all of the Epstein files with no redactions.
Right.
Which is amazing in and of itself. What's even more amazing was that the Department of Justice logged every single person who came in. They each member of Congress got their own number, logged in under the number, and then the Department of Justice is monitoring and keeping track of every search query that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to see what they're actually looking for. Almost every single one of them, first thing they did was go in and do a search for themselves. And the first person they got caught with it was our wonderful Washington State Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, who started talking trash and trying to go after. Now I will say this. You cannot be more partisan than Pam Bondi is being, which really pisses me off. I was hoping that she would be more straightforward. I probably shouldn't have expected her to be.
Nope.
She's doing her job, but you're working for the people, not Donald Trump. Your job is to work for the people of the United States, not the president. I understand there's partisanship towards the man who appointed you to the position when you are in the attorney general position, but she did one of the worst jobs of deflecting under congressional scrutiny I've ever seen. It was pathetic. It was not. I had no way left watching that hearing and felt good about her being attorney general, and that was very disappointing to me because she would get asked very direct questions about. So I'll paraphrase this. She would get asked, "This person is in the Epstein files, clearly committing crimes. Are you going to prosecute that person?" And her answer would be instead, "Well, why didn't you ask President Obama that question? Or why didn't you ask a previous Democrat that question?" That was the deflection. No, that shouldn't have shit to do with shit.
This is what I'm telling you guys. This partisan bullshit has to end,
Yes.
or we're never going
Couldn't
to
agree
heal
more.
this country.
Couldn't agree more. Yes.
Yeah.
And the Bondi hearing was the quintessential definition of it.
Yeah.
It was that bad. And I mean,
this is crimes.
yes.
This isn't just something you can just.
Yes. And you guys have to tell me what you think, but I just watched an interview with Tommy Lahren did with oh my gosh, now her name escapes me. The crazy blonde chick from Georgia that was a former congresswoman, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. And even MTG was talking about things that she's still totally in agreement with on, but she's like, but then Trump turned against me because of the Epstein files. And she's like, I don't see that as a partisan issue. Well, when you start, and this, for those that don't know, this weekend, a comprehensive list was released of names that are mentioned in the files. Doesn't tell you how many times.
Doesn't
Could
tell
be
you what
one,
it's about.
could be 1,000. Nope, just a list of names.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
It is stupid.
Like there's not a name on there that most of us didn't already suspect or know that was on there.
Right.
And it doesn't tell us anything. But the worst part is that, and I think the DOJ did this on purpose, and they did it to obfuscate. They released the files where anybody would call and make any kind of claim.
Yeah.
So literally half of those files are unsubstantiated BS claims that, Johnny Smith, who's high on crack, called the FBI's tip line number and talked smack about Trump. One of the claims is that Donald Trump helped dispose of a girl's 10-day-old baby in a river or something like that. Like ridiculous claims like that, right? And you can't get past the fact if there was a legitimate claim in there against the current president of the United States, that Democrats would not have used it. They absolutely would have.
They would have.
So I'm sorry. This isn't Jeremy, love you. Stop being an idiot. There's no way that Donald Trump or any other substantiated politician right now is in those files having committed a crime, it would have been used by one or the other side. It would have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you know whose name is all over the files, though, the last couple days at least, is Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he interviewed Epstein. He did an interview with him, and I will tell you straight up, when you listen to the interview and you see the emails that went back and forth between Bannon and Epstein, you can argue that they were non-substantive, but this was after Epstein had already been arrested and convicted, and Trump's first term in office. So yeah, that matters. That was dumb. I don't know what that dude was doing.
Well, then there was things that came out today that Bannon was working with, trying to get Epstein to help him take down the Pope.
Yeah, he was trying to find dirt on the Pope.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you had a congressional congresswoman, Stacey Plaskett from Puerto Rico, I think she's from Puerto Rico, in the middle of a fucking hearing is texting with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? So now the question becomes, what level of access did this munch, going to use a colorful metaphor, but I'll stop. What level of control or access did a guy like Epstein have to Congress people?
Right.
Well, and
he was texting her in the middle of a freaking hearing.
Yeah. And I think that the larger question with this Epstein thing, everything he did was heinous. Like, I'm not making any excuses or apologies for any of that. But his connection was so much more than his pedophilia stuff. Like, he was loaded. He had a lot of money. He had a lot of connections and a lot of influence. And some of those connections and influence had nothing to do with the island and human trafficking.
I'm going to guess by what you just said, you haven't really had a chance to look too much into them.
What do you mean?
Because it is well established now here after a couple of weeks of the files being out, and they're open. There's like 3.5 million pages for people to read.
Yeah.
But a couple of things have become abundantly clear. One, he was an intelligence asset.
Mm-hmm.
He was used by the KGB at least, and probably Mossad, as a honey trap or honeypot, whatever. Right? He used his ability to literally trap politicians and famous people and get them with blackmail material.
Sure.
Force it. And so knowing that at the very least the KGB and Mossad used him for the same purpose, it's more likely than not the CIA did too.
Yeah.
So the dude was used by the world's major players.
Right. You see, you're saying what I'm saying though, which is,
but I'm saying it. You weren't saying it. That's why I asked.
Well, you interrupted me before I got to the end of my point.
Oh,
my point is that we now can't draw the correlation. This person had a relationship with Epstein, thus they're involved in the pedophilia.
Correct.
Stuff.
There was much more
exactly.
going on
And that's what I'm bringing up. So like we talk about Stacey Platsky, you talk about Steve Bannon, you talk about Barack Obama or Trump or anybody. It would stun me if we hadn't found Trump's name
Correct.
in the report, because they were both
Princess Diana's name was in there.
Yeah, but Trump and him were big money power players in New York
Yes.
City.
Yes.
Of course you're going to see their names in there.
Russell Wilson was on there.
Yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't see that.
He bought a jet.
He bought a jet.
He didn't buy a jet.
He was just inquiring.
He looked at the jet.
Yeah.
It was something that he considered, but
Well,
I did
that's
happen to
that's
read
how
that.
little of an impact and crossover there had to
Right.
be. For example, somebody posted on Facebook the other day, he saw Bremerton was in there, right? And it's actually not Bremerton, it's Bellevue. I'm not Bellevue, but Bellingham.
Right.
There was some folks up there, and they were discussing him getting a place up here in Puget Sound and others. But that's it, right? That does, that's not insinuating that there was child sex trafficking ring going in and out of here.
No, I mean,
Yeah, not everybody was involved in
Right.
that.
And that was the issue with the bill. You release out 3.5 million pages of non sequitur bullcrap.
Yeah.
Instead of letting people that are vetted go through it and pick out the stuff that really matters.
But that goes to the professor's point
Yes,
earlier.
exactly.
The Department of Justice, as a way of giving the middle finger to Congress for passing that bill, was, well, if you want us to release everything, here you go.
Right.
We're going to make it so redacted you can't read shit,
Yeah.
but then we're going to put everything out there too, so that you don't know what to take serious and what you can't. The whole thing became a joke when there were real victims of real crimes. And the reality is, you're not for 1 second going to convince me that the Department of Justice don't know who the real criminals are in those files, and they don't know damn good and well who the people that were trafficking and dealing in underage girls and sex.
Yep.
Did you notice that a lot of the two, like if it was from Jeffrey Epstein to someone else, they would redact who it was to, and vice versa.
No, I didn't get that. I didn't look that close.
The ones that
but that's a really good point.
All of them, I didn't see like one email address other than like the Epstein side of things.
I gotcha.
I didn't look at that many, but that was the first thing I noticed.
It was hard to get through that because you had to have something specific that you were going in there and looking at. And again, watching Bondi in that hearing, it was clear she had a file on every congressman and woman on the Democrat side. So when that person came to speak, she would flip her page over to the information she had about that member of Congress. And as soon as they attacked her, she would filibuster and go to and attack them for something in return. And that's not what that job is.
No,
that's not what you're supposed to do there. And
she
it
went after, who was the Republican senator?
Massey.
Massey. Yeah, she went after Massey and said he had Trump derangement syndrome.
Well,
like, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but that isn't the point of your job. You know,
that's my point. That's why it was so
Trump
disgusting.
too if he was coming after me and trying to get somebody else to.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That is the problem with Trump, right? Like I don't disagree with the policies. If there was a way to take the man out of it, but there isn't. You can't separate the man Donald Trump from the president of the United States, because the man Donald Trump is fucking garbage human being in so many different ways. Like so it is what it is. You know, now the real question becomes the people that are associated with him. And by the way, Democrats are making this worse. And how are they making it worse? Because they are very vocally saying, everybody who supports Donald Trump and is doing what he's telling them, we're going to get you prosecuted. If you work for ICE, we're going to prosecute you, right? Like,
for
the fuck are you doing? Telling law enforcement officers for doing their job, the laws you pass as Congress for doing their job, you're going to prosecute them? Like, that's how far down the toilet this country is going right now. And if somebody, I will give credit on one thing, no matter what it took for Tom Homan to convince the president to back off in Minnesota. Yes, to the average leftist, it looks like they beat you. They think that they won. They didn't, but what he did was he fucking dialed the temperature down, which needed to happen.
Yeah.
No matter how it happened, it had to happen, or more people were going to end up dead and things were only going to get worse, right? So God bless him. Whatever Tom Homan, because I don't think for 1 second Donald Trump called up Homan and said, go to Minnesota, turn down the temperature, make things better. I don't think that happened for 1 second.
Yeah.
Well, but hold on. And I when we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I said the exact same thing. We need to scale this down a little bit because it's getting out of hand.
Oh, you may have said that, but see, I just said it, which makes me right. You were wrong 2 weeks ago.
Hold on. But my point is now is how do you get there unless you're willing to go there? You know
they
what I
did.
mean?
They were moved.
No, but what I'm saying is if the goal is we're going to clean this up, we're going to go into these cities that have allowed lawlessness and illegal immigrants to set up shop and be untouchable and carry out their enterprise. How are we going to clean that up unless we go there and clean it up? Sometimes doing the right thing is a dirty, ugly business. In World War II, we carpet bombed Dresden. Did we want to?
And Tokyo and about a dozen other cities. Yeah.
Did we want to? No. But did we have to win? Yes.
Well, Kevin, what you're saying is not plausible right now. You would tear this country apart. You have certain members within the media and within politics that have created such a massive us versus them dichotomy.
I get it.
That it is, I mean, it will lead to a civil war in the goddamn streets. You have people already doing. The last dude that got shot in Minnesota had a gun on him, for God's sakes. He took a gun to a fucking protest. And the videos that are the videos.
Really? People do that all the time.
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't take guns to a protest, especially not a protest like is going on in Minnesota, where that dude was kicking out the lights of cop vehicles. Haven't you seen the video?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
I was just going to say I might interject a Kyle Rittenhouse.
You go ahead, but you're not comparing apples to apples.
You're not to a protest with a gun.
Yes, he did. Why?
To protect.
I mean, you want me to go down there? I'm glad to go down. He went to fucking protect those businesses that were being burnt to the ground.
I get it, but I guarantee that the guy that had the gun that got shot thought he was going to protect other people, which is why he had the gun. Like, protection is a matter of opinion.
Is that what he? Is that? Well, then why would you be?
It's his Second Amendment right to be able to carry that weapon.
Yes,
plain and simple.
Yes, but you also have a responsibility as a responsible citizen. You know that the Second Amendment. Where can you not carry a gun?
Well, being on the streets is not one of those.
No, I know that, but where you know that there are places you cannot carry a gun.
School,
alcohol serving establishment, stuff like that, right? Yep. So there's a personal responsibility component to the Second Amendment, and he was attacking police vehicles physically. If you watch the video, you can clearly see him kick the back tail light out of that cop car, and within seconds of that, he was being grabbed by those cops. That was an aggressive moment from him.
Yeah, there's accountability for behavior.
Absolutely, there is. So that is my only point. He could have easily carried a gun to a protest until he engaged in aggressive behavior, right? That's that line that Brandon was talking about. Right. You just can't cross that line. We all have to be smarter and be accountable for. You can't, not you or any of you, but you can't sit in your car and gas it and hit a cop and not expect something to happen. Right. Like this is where we've gotten to. We've gotten completely away from holding people responsible for their own actions. And we try to excuse, not we, because we all are pretty adamant about it. But in general, you have two sides. You have a Republican side who will talk about, these people are doing this, this, and that. And then you have the Democrat side that said, what do you do? Like this SAVE Act, the SAFE Act?
The SAVE Act.
Yeah, the SAVE Act, right? They're Democrats are accusing Republicans of making it so that women can't vote,
which is so ridiculous.
It's nuts.
So ridiculous.
It's laughable, except for the fact that there are some people who will believe it.
And that's the thing. It keeps showing up everywhere. Is that that the Republicans are trying to keep women from voting.
Right.
They're going to set them back.
We had talked about that earlier. Can you take a second and please explain to the audience how that works?
So what they're saying is that their birth certificate isn't going to match their marriage certificate or whatever is on their license. Well, that is not how those governmental documents work. When you are born, you get a birth certificate. It has your name on it that your parents gave you with your parents' names and your mother's maiden name. And then when you go and get married, that's your next document that is tying you to that name change that says, hey, this person got married.
Yeah.
This is the maiden name, which is going to be on the birth certificate. This is the person's married name. And so that is how you would get your license if you're going to change your name.
I did see a lady post that she's like, as a woman who's been married, she's like, I'm pretty sure most women know what the hell we're doing.
You go to the Social Security office first. That's your first stop. Yeah, exactly. It's not rocket science.
It's another scare
and
tactic.
It's a fear mongering tactic that lady did.
Yes.
Yeah.
As I understand it, the paperwork's not really any different from getting a passport, which you have to.
It's really not.
Yeah, you trace your birth certificate to your marriage documentation if there's such
exactly.
thing.
And I will say
any
this.
other name change.
Exactly.
I just had because of the flight to Texas, I had to go get my new license,
right?
The enhanced. It was a pain in the ass for me. Why was it a pain in the ass though? Not because of the process. There was nothing to the problem for me was I had just moved. So I didn't have mail. I didn't have a mailing address, right? So there were secondary reasons that it was a pain in the ass, but you know what it didn't do? It didn't stop me from getting it. I just had to make sure I had the right things together in the right way. And then it took me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
When I walked in there and that was it. So like, I can understand why some people would complain about it or make the argument.
Yeah.
But then you just got to kind of take some personal accountability and say, but then again, I got to get my shit together.
Yeah. Well, the thing that pisses me off the most about the whole entire situation is that the Democrats, and I am going to be partisan here for a second because I have only seen this out of the Democrats.
You're allowed.
I haven't seen any Republican figurehead say something like this, is that that this is going to keep black people from voting because they can't go get a license.
If I was black, it would be insulting as hell to me.
And the women thing too. And it's like, really, where the fuck do you get off thinking that because somebody grew up in poverty or because they have a vagina that they're somehow less of a human being and aren't smart enough to be able to figure that shit out?
There's a Babylon Bee video of that same thing. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's and it's fake because it's Babylon Bee. They're just being funny, but they're like interviewing people. They're interviewing this black guy. So how does it feel to know that you're too stupid to be able to vote?
Seriously.
Like, you know what I mean? And this idea that this white guilt idea that we have to somehow bail out minorities because they can't take care of themselves.
It's ridiculous.
That was probably true in 1870. when African Americans had been on a plantation for the whole
60s, man. Come on.
But I'm saying, but that was probably true in 1870 when African Americans had been on plantations and they didn't have any real world knowledge. They hadn't been out there. This is 2026. They can have a job and drive and work and interact in society
and pay taxes.
They know everything that you white folk do. They're not suddenly unable to cohabitate in the world with everybody. They know, like, what are you doing? And the fact that I saw another post that said, oh, it was a what's his name? He does HBO late at what's his name?
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Maher is like, every time this happens, it's an angry liberal woman behind it.
Yeah.
It's an angry white liberal woman behind it.
Yeah.
Like it's
not wrong.
I don't hear any African Americans coming out and say we don't know how to vote.
We don't know how to go get a driver's license.
Yeah, I don't hear anybody saying that.
It's 2026.
It's the
Google it.
It's the
Google it.
It's the Paul's Bill for Alls of the world.
Yeah. And the worst part is you're like, Google it. And then, of course, somebody might say, right, well, maybe they don't have a smartphone. Yeah, no, Obama made sure they all had phones. They all got phones.
And then that in of itself is racist or,
Screw you for pointing it out. How dare you?
But 10 years ago this was a little of the narrative. All these black people are so broke and poor, but they can have an expensive cell phone.
Yeah.
Like, you're just changing the narrative as you go to make yourself feel like you're motivated to do something.
For sure. Well, especially because you can spend $40 on a smartphone, which looks like it's a $1,000 smartphone, right?
Yeah.
So I learned something really interesting last week. So I was helping my son Truan. He's 14 in middle school, and they're discussing slavery. And so I was curious. So I asked him. I said, "So what have you learned about it?" Well, I've learned that what white people did to black people was really, really bad. Okay, let's talk about this. He's like, well, what is there to talk about? What we did to black people was really, really bad. Okay, well, we're going to have a conversation about this. And I want you to feel comfortable with this conversation so that you can go back to school and you can talk to your teacher about what your dad taught you. And he's like, okay, what's that? So I pulled up this video and I actually learned something. The entire narrative of chattel slavery, in other words, owning an African American or owning a slave for life in perpetuity, that came from a court case filed by a formerly indentured servant African man who was the first African slaveholder in the in the Americas. He had a white neighbor come to his house, and he was talking to one of his slaves, and the white landowner said, how long do you have to serve? Because at that time, there was no chattel slavery. It was indentured servitude only.
Right.
And there were as many whites as there were blacks in the country at that time. And he says, well, my owner says that I am a slave forever. And the white next door neighbor said, no, you're not. We're indentured servants, which means you're paying off your debt to have come to the United States, right? You owe money and you're basically his servant until you pay it off. And so the black man was like, well, but he told me I'm here for the rest of my life. And he says, no, that's not true. You can just leave. So the dude left. Well, then he was captured by the authorities. The African-American slave owner took it to court, and the court sided with him and said, yeah, you're his slave forever. It was an African-American that set the legal standard for slavery in America. Yeah. How's that for some history?
Listen, though, you are the guy, Paul.
I know.
I don't know if you remember this story or not, but you are the guy when Hunter was younger. We were at your house. I think it was a family reunion.
It's going to be a good story or bad.
We were at your house, and Hunter had made toast and left and had the toaster on the wrong side. He made toast, and you literally said to him, you burnt that toast so black it stole my bike. So you're the one that said it.
I never said anything like that.
You did say that.
You making shit up. Are you like Googling bad jokes over there?
Watching the chat over here.
I can't believe you would say that.
I was amazed you said that to your son.
So my son couldn't make a microwave a hot dog when he graduated.
You said to him,
never said anything about toast.
You said you burnt the toast so black it stole my bike. That's what you said.
I never said
That's what you said.
I never said anything like that.
You did say that. Do you believe that he would say that, Amber? Yeah, you're only saying that because you don't want to be in trouble.
I believe it.
Yeah,
never would.
The other believes it. All right.
You're a jackass.
You guys made a comment earlier. You guys, I just wanted to touch on this comment earlier. You talked about how divisive we are, and Beeler, you said that we have to get past that.
We do.
I would argue.
I think there's truth to that, but at the same, I think it's a double-edged sword. Go ahead.
Listen, the media they're directing this narrative that we are so
Agreed.
divided, but I think in reality we're all a little more closer than we think.
I do not disagree with you.
I
don't
completely
disagree with
disagree. You just have to watch social
Well,
media.
you're a Democrat. Of course you disagree.
No, but you just have to watch social media for 15 minutes.
That's because the news media is pumping that into everyone.
Oh, okay, I do agree with
They keep repeating that narrative and producing.
So was Trump
people
right
believe
when he
it.
said media is the enemy of the American people?
Absolutely, he's fucking right.
But I
agree.
would argue that as long as we have free speech. Hold on, I wanted to finish the point out, which is why I brought this up then, Tom.
Okay.
As long as we have free speech in this country, we will never bridge the divide. And again, I'm not advocating that we get rid of free speech. That's not what I'm saying. But as long as we have free speech, this divide will grow wider, not narrower, because people will always say what they think, and it will just continue the division. Tom,
I think you're right there, but
thank you. I'll go home now.
I blame it on the media, because the media pumps that division and that outrage and all that, because that's how the media makes a dollar. Right? They pump the outrage, and the outrage tunes in listeners, and then they can charge more for their advertising dollar. Right? But we, the people, have we've embraced it, because if you go and read whatever news, network news source you want, right? But it's got to be written. So go through your news cycle wherever you find it, and yeah, read the article, because whatever, but read the comments, read the public discussion about the article. Right? That is a great barometer for where we're at. And we're in the septic tank, guys. I mean, we can't have a conversation. And, people do the keyboard warrior thing, and they get behind their keyboard and they say shit that they would never say to the face of another human being. Right.
But
if you were to talk to me like that, what some of the toxic shit I read in comments, if you were to say that to my face, I'd break your jaw.
No doubt.
Lori's got to come up. But let me just say one thing. You want to blame the media.
I do.
And I do not blame the media. I blame the American consumer, because CNN could run out article after article after article about how great it is to fuck a monkey. Right?
Yeah.
The average the average
You're
American
cussing a lot tonight there, Kevin.
the average American consumer is not going to read that and think, I want to go have sex with a monkey. They're gonna think, what is this nonsense? But we as a contingent, the American population we've chosen to read and take to heart what CNN, MSNBC, Fox News,
and that's what I'm saying. We have to get away from that, so we're not as divisive.
But I'm just saying, we're blaming the media, but we're choosing to consume the media. It has to come back to us.
No.
Lori?
Disagree. Totally disagree. I think that all of you are right to a certain extent. You have elements, but you're missing the biggest piece. Who's controlling the media? It's the algorithm. Whatever algorithm wind tunnel that you're in on your social media, that's what you're listening to. How many times are you on YouTube and flipping around going to CNN, and then you go over to Fox News to confuse your algorithm? And I'm asking everybody, whether you're in the chat or in this room, because I do that on a daily basis so that I can continue to get new stuff from all over. That's the only way you're going to get through this. Now, I agree with you, Kevin. Free speech. If we're going to be divisive, we're divisive. But we cannot get rid of free speech. And we're already doing that by self-censoring. That's horrible. The other part of it is, guess what? If we're so divisive, what are you doing to cure it? You don't have to make everybody see your point of view. You just have to have a conversation.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, they passed we tend to follow what Europe does, right? The US is usually behind what Europe
Man, I
does.
hope not.
Well,
yeah.
Man, I hope not.
But we have been historically, right?
Yeah, but
in England, they passed a law.
Europe's a shit show right now.
Well, in England, they passed a law called that's been affectionately called the pub law.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the pub law, but it basically says if you say something that offends somebody, you're liable. And the problem is, it doesn't have to be something you say to somebody. It can be something you say that somebody else overhears.
And it can be something you think.
Yeah.
You can be silent standing on a street corner holding a Bible and get arrested in England.
Yeah.
So just consider that. And that's the direction we're heading.
Well,
Well, they're being arrested for free speech.
Yeah, we'll
for
never get
saying
that far
something
down.
in social media or
No,
text.
no, because free speech, like the Second Amendment, is too
valuable
and too ingrained in our DNA. Like those are two things that people of this country will not give up without a literal fight.
But hold on. You said the Second Amendment. Haven't we given up on the Second
No.
Amendment?
Yeah, we have.
Hold
No.
on. To many levels, we have. In certain
No.
states and certain jurisdictions, you can't even carry a weapon outside of your house. New York had that law that's done in the books forever. They said you couldn't even transport your own weapon around the boroughs, even if you had it legally.
But you're not. You said you're a constitutional expert.
Yeah,
the Constitution, the Second Amendment, does not give you the right to do anything except keep and bear arms.
But here's
it doesn't say anything else about taking it anywhere or doing any of that
No, I
stuff.
know.
It's a state right.
But
yes.
But the problem is we've mortgaged our Second Amendment rights in this country. You know,
Not
it's-
everywhere.
Yeah, not everywhere.
Yeah.
It well,
In
in
Washington, yeah.
and to,
because
to the-
we've been controlled
yes.
by Democrats
and
since the
that's very
80s.
divisive.
But then
It is, but it's fact because those are their policies.
So can I
But
just
if
point out?
that's-
Thank you
Yeah.
you for acknowledging my righteousness.
But
okay.
if that's
Go ahead.
true, then if that's true, Beeler, don't punch me for this. But if that's true, and in Washington State and in California and other states, they've been allowed to minimize the Second Amendment, then is the Constitution even worth the paper it's printed on?
Fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hold on. We believe it should be, but it's not upheld in any court. There's been no court that's came back to Washington State that said, you guys are violating the Constitution with the restrictions you put on your gun ownership rights. The Constitution is clear. It doesn't matter what the Constitution says if nobody enforces it, and in this state, it doesn't get enforced.
Kevin, it's a state right issue, and we're using the Washington State Constitution, which has been changed to reflect those changes.
Yep.
So, therefore, it does fall under the purview of the law here in Washington.
States' rights, right? That's something that as a conservative, I know that we have fought
you-
for and been vocal about for years.
But the U.S.
whether
Second
I like it
Amendment-
or don't like it.
Exactly.
Okay, so you guys don't believe the U.S. Second Amendment has been infringed upon? I mean, I know that you believe the state
It
one.
absolutely has. It has in the sense that our founders had a very clear understanding of what they wanted when they wrote that.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been eroded by states' rights over time. However,
in some states.
and I'm going to say the same thing that I say with abortion. If you want to have an abortion in the state you live in, it's illegal, then you go to a state where the policies align with more of how you feel on things.
It's to the professor's point. There are things that have happened in the state that makes me want to move
Mhm.
because of the way things are going.
Right.
Because I don't like the path that we've gone down. But I can't sit here and say I'm willing to fight for states' rights, but more people in this state have voted for things to go to a way I don't like. Well, now then I no longer believe in a republic, right? If I can't say everybody has to think like me or want to be like, I hate abortion. I can't remember a time I wasn't ever vocal about that, but it is the law of the land in Washington State.
Right.
So I either love it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you kind of annoy me when you bitch about people moving when they don't like how the status goes. I
Right.
get it, but you know what? People have a choice. They either
Right.
stay or they leave. Makes it harder for people like me
Mhm.
to stay, but you know,
Well,
it is what it is.
Going back to the Second Amendment, Kevin, our state, as well as other groups and other states, have challenged and gone to
Mhm.
Superior Court and Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And things have been shot down
Yeah.
on
Especially
potential bans or whatever you want to call it.
Especially by the Supreme Court here in
Yeah.
Washington.
And can we just point out that I think that it's well established that if with Democrats having the majority that they have, and for as long as they've had it in Washington State, if they don't like something, they'll just fucking change it. Look
Yeah.
at, I mean, you don't have to look
Right.
past the issue
$30 car
of an
tabs.
income tax.
Yeah.
Or,
right. That too.
Yep. Income tax.
Income tax. That's some bullshit.
Because already the millionaire tax has been dropped down to people making $125,000 a year or more.
Isn't
Well,
that
hell,
some
that's-
bullshit?
That's middle class in this state.
That is middle class.
Guess who's moving?
Yeah. I mean, the median income in Washington State is $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that Amber could tell you, that's look, it's not that much.
Yeah. Not in Washington.
Not
It's
in
too
Washington
expensive.
State. And why? Because Democrats have us paying the most in taxes, the most in gas taxes, the
Right.
most in food taxes, the most in lumber, like all of it.
Right. And we're right back in this legislative session and they're talking about more taxes.
Yes.
And so was talking to Kevin about how in my memories it popped up I was here before. And one of the things we were talking about is the incoming tax bills in 2020 that the legislature was implementing.
Yes.
It's the same fucking thing every damn year.
Yeah. Finding ways to implement new taxes and make us feel okay with it.
Right. It's marketing.
It is marketing, it's messaging. And I think, that was the one thing, and I didn't get to say when we were discussing Brandon, like, I think that was the wrong approach when he was talking about how to afford things. Well, we need to have a conversation, right? And the issues are in this state, we already pay all of these taxes and everything's already so high, right? And it gets back to that idea of trying to remove himself from that Democrat label that he's got, right? So here he is, he's trying to remove that label. He's grounded, he's well-mannered, he's smart, and he knows all of these things, but dude, don't go there about the taxes.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what the people who are Republicans or conservatives are going to blast you for, right? And that's what they're going to be on you about if you get elected, man. It's going to be brutal for you for that very singular reason. Try to find a way to do more with what you got.
Right. Exactly.
And one of the questions I wanted to bring up, and we just never got there. This state brings in plenty of money. There's no reason we can't just reallocate things. I mean, they do it all the time.
Right.
So, I mean, what do we have? The second or third highest road tax?
I don't know, but I would sure love a freaking audit of where all this fucking money is
Wouldn't
going
you?
because
Yeah.
that is so ridiculous.
Well, and now we find out that Democrats in Washington state do not like the idea of you as an independent journalist investigating anything.
Right.
They've made it very clear, right? We have the mayor of the largest city in the state who said that she finds it illegal if you go ask questions about this money and how it's being allocated. By the way, have you guys heard who rumor has it maybe one of the bidders for the Seattle Seahawks?
Who?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be rad.
Well, and rumor has it that
Trump
one of the reasons he wanted to, his family wants to do it, is because they wanted to basically prove a point to the new socialist mayor of the city of Seattle.
And move them right out of Seattle.
I don't. That wasn't something that was mentioned,
okay,
but
all right.
And the NFL wouldn't let him go.
I think that would be the biggest stumbling block to that because there's a well-established market here. But I thought it was funny, the idea of them going, giving her the middle finger.
Yeah, that is really good. I like
She's
She
as
would
dumb
have
as a
to-
box of rocks, man.
Yeah, but she would have to work with them.
Well, she would have to do something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that. I mean, I thought Mamdani was a moron.
No.
Katie's an idiot,
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
like dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along the lines of the Seahawks, did you guys hear about Sam Darnold? And so he got a bonus for being
Yes.
on a winning Super Bowl.
Yes.
team,
Yeah.
Right? Did you hear winning the Super Bowl cost him $71,000?
Yes.
Yeah, that's insane. Gotta love California.
That's California's. It's a
Woo.
jock tax.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly where Washington is heading.
Yes.
It cost him $71,000.
That's
Yeah,
what
because it's a state
that's what the
income tax
millionaire
and then
tax
the
is
San
gonna do.
Francisco
I mean,
payroll expense tax.
Yeah, it's. I mean, let's be realistic though. Like, I don't really feel bad for him. Yeah, it cost him $71,000 in taxes, but he got a $180,000 bonus for winning the game.
And he had to pay taxes on that.
And he had to pay taxes. on
But
that.
he
It
probably
actually
got
was-
some sponsorships out of it. So he
Probably.
probably made some money.
No, I mean, with the taxes, they end up being a net negative for him.
Yeah.
It might have been how that's even legal is beyond my
Isn't that
comprehension.
crazy? We're gonna tax you above and beyond.
Yeah.
You have to pay us out of pocket to play a game here.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, is that the same or equal to, Lori, the idea of paying taxes on quote realized gains? Is that the right phrase?
Realized
or unrealized
income?
gains? I'm sorry,
Unrealized
gains. Yeah.
Similar.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, he was paying, what was it? Federal income tax withholding. I'm sure he already met his Social Security. He's paying Medicare, additional Medicare tax. And then he's paying anything else, which is California, state income tax withholding, Washington cares, unless he got a letter, Washington paid family leave, Washington medical leave. And then he's also paying for San Francisco payroll expense tax
That's
and San
insane.
Francisco. I think San Francisco now has a head tax.
Absolutely insane. One
Yeah.
more tax issue I want to bring up because we've only got about 15 minutes left here. For those who aren't aware, Washington State Democrats decided where they were going to get their money from this year to pay for the offset. Did you guys hear about this?
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to raid, what is it, 4 billion? Is it billion?
4 billion.
$4 billion from the retirement funds for police and firefighters.
Oh, they're taking away from DPR.
How like, what kind of a dick do you got to be to go, hey, those cops and firefighters who put their lives on the line every day to take care of us have done such a good job with their money. We're going to steal it from them.
It boggles my mind
Right.
how they can even think that is okay.
Right.
It's the same dicks who did that to every American in the 80s and 90s
Mhm.
when Congress raided Social Security,
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah.
So, now we're just doing on a state level. I mean, if you're looking for a civil war, they're certainly trying to find it.
Just imagine some poor guy decides he's gonna. Well, that's why I didn't quite understand what you were saying about people are hoping that if Brandon got elected, they were waiting to retire. I don't understand that logic.
Meaning they believe that he was going to be a good person to work under, and they wanted to stick around.
It
Like,
wasn't political. It was a leadership. It was an individual.
Yeah, but I don't. I guess my point is like
maybe they were considering retiring now because it wasn't the.
Okay, that would be different though than what you said, because you said they were thinking of retiring if he got elected.
Yeah.
Like
no,
so that would to me would simulate that they're saying they're saying they don't want to work under his leadership. They're going to retire before.
That they were thinking about retiring, but they're going to stick around to see if he gets it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
very good.
Yeah.
Are you looking at those Super Bowl predictions?
I just got them all tallied up.
Yeah, I don't really know that I got all of them right, but I think I got a few right.
No, do we want to go over those real quick?
Yeah, we only got like 10 minutes left.
Show.
Let's go over.
So in the Super Bowl tallies. Oh, hold on. Did I? I did. Okay. All right. So in our Super Bowl tallies, Paul, you didn't do bad, but you didn't do as well as Lori and I. Lori and I each had 12 of them correct, so we each got 300 points.
12 out of how many?
12 out of
18.
12 out of 18.
Okay.
12 out of 18. So, so you and I got 12 right. Tom and Paul each got 9. Dennis got 8. Beela didn't pick.
You never sent me the list, dummy.
I forgot.
That means you need to give her but then you need to give her the average, cumulative average of everybody.
Wait, can I get the
the
average
score
on
sounds
the
like
preseason?
700 to 255.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't send them to her, then you got to give her the average.
I'll give her the average. It's not going to make a difference. But I'll give her the average. So after that, I went into the lead because I picked up 75 points on you.
I think we need to audit that shit.
I think so too.
Audit the Fed.
Go ahead.
Can I finish? Thank you.
Still need to audit.
Shut your whore mouth. Then I went back to our preseason prediction, and only one of us picked the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl.
Who's that?
Paul.
Oh, good
And
job,
that gave him a bonus 25 points, which means Paul won.
Ooh, nice, Paul.
By 9 points, but we need to audit it, so it's not really a valid.
That's right. You need to audit it.
So Paul 662, me 653, and then it just goes down from there. So Paul beat me.
Did that like catch you in the gut? Did it like you just mother?
When I saw me jump in the lead, I was like, oh, I got him, and then I was like, oh, I gotta go back and check. Oh crap. So
Oh, does that mean Paul is the champion?
I mean, I guess.
Wow, Beela.
I guess once the audit's complete.
Well,
Why did you?
It's not 2025 anymore, so Kevin's reign is over.
I am the champion. My name's Kevin. I won the race car track.
I still am the race car champion. You don't get to take that. It's not like
It's 2026. It's over.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
it's good for a year.
New season.
Can I just point out? I would like a new theme song.
It's good for
I'm going to
a
do
year.
Glorious is going to be my new theme song.
You can't take my theme song, Paul. That's not allowed. And I'm still the Derby champ for a year until we have the next Derby. You win it until you're dethroned. And Paul beat me in the football picks for the first time.
Not the first time,
but I won it. But I mean, I won it the last 2 years, so it's okay.
The last 1 year, you won 1 year. I won the year before last.
Doesn't matter.
The same way during the playoffs, I won.
Doesn't matter. And then, Trojo, who used to be on this show, is like, well, I would have won if I remembered to make my picks. Yeah, you only forgot to make your picks forever, dude. And you were sucking before then.
Well, he is a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah. All right.
Did anybody here not think Seattle's defense was just going to dominate that game, though?
Here's what I thought Seattle's defense was going to dominate the game. I thought a little bit more. I thought we'd get a little more out of the Seahawks offense in the first half. They moved the ball really well and then had to settle for a bunch of field goals. That made me a little bit nervous because you still let New England hang around.
Yep.
And not knowing, I mean, I thought the defense was going to be good, but I didn't think they were going to just completely buckfuck them
at the beginning of the fourth
week.
quarter. I forget the name of the two announcers. I always forget his name. The skinny guy.
Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Chris Collinsworth points out, he goes, I don't think anybody anticipated such an overwhelmingly dominant performance by Seattle. And he pointed out, he goes, this may be one of the greatest defenses we've ever seen in the Super Bowl, which was coming from him. That was quite a compliment. And then the former quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys,
Romo.
No.
Aikman.
Hello.
Aikman.
Aikman pointed out that the game wasn't fair from the initial kickoff, that Drake May did not stand a chance at any point in time.
Yeah. Because
Seattle's defense was not only just dominant, but the fact they had two rookie offensive linemen, they just ate him up the whole game.
Yep.
Just ate him up.
Yeah.
I
was a little bit worried we were going to have some issues in our offensive line because Bradford is just a revolving door.
I still think Seattle's kicker should have been the MVP.
Yeah, agreed.
Would have been a logical choice.
I was going to bring that up too.
Dude set an NFL, should have set an Super Bowl record.
No, he
5
matched
field goals.
Oh no, that's right. He
Yeah.
did have 5.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
field goals.
Yeah. Because he had matched it
Seahawks?
by the third quarter or whatever. Yeah.
Say Seahawks.
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 There you go. Yeah. All right.
Hey, who's better? Hey, who's better? Seahawks or the Chargers? Who do you like better? Seahawks?
Seahawks.
Seahawks, yeah.
Seahawks.
Yeah, huh? See?
That's mean, Kevin.
Hey,
Paul, it was just this weekend. He saw something that was Seahawks. He goes, I love Seahawks.
There you go.
I'm like, damn.
Are the Chargers underachievers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, ouch.
No.
Yeah. Do they choke?
No.
No, they don't choke. They're just awful.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's nice knowing you on the show, Kevin.
He's
From that
gonna
moment
take
on,
over your
Kevin's
job,
microphone
Kevin.
never worked again.
John said in chat the Seahawks are trying to get Max Crosby from the Raiders. I've heard that. I don't believe it.
No,
I
we
don't.
can't afford him.
Oh, we could.
Seattle had $91 million under the salary cap.
Yeah.
Oh, were we that far?
Massively
Oh,
under.
I knew we were under.
Yeah.
We have
that
some
far.
players that we're gonna have to figure out what to do with them, but like I would let what's his name, that receiver that we picked up from New Orleans. What's his name?
Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid. I would let him go.
What?
I don't want to pay another receiver like big time money. We saw what it did with DK. You can get.
He's got a great attitude,
I
and he's a
understand
leader
that.
in
I know, but
locker room.
If I'm going to spend
And
money,
I
I
would-
want to spend it on offensive. I don't want to bring Ken Walker back.
And I will tell you, well, they're going to sign him.
I don't want to spend $9 million on an NFL running back when you can draft somebody. In the
They were
fourth
way
round
under
who
the
just
salary
won.
cap, though, brother. That's what I'm telling about. They got
But
the
I'm
money
just
to
saying-
re-sign everybody.
But if you're going to get Max Crosby, and you're going to try to fill some other holes, and you need to fill that spot on right tackle where Bradford's at, you're going to have to let some of these guys go. And I
You mean like Bradford?
like Bradford, but again, Kenneth Walker, I don't want to pay $9 million to a running back when I can draft a running back in the second or third round
Charbonnet.
that can do Charbonnet's going to be out.
Charbonnet's better anyway.
Charbonnet's going to be out all next year,
Not
or
all
most
year.
of next year.
He'll be out the first half.
He'll be out for 3/4 of the year. So you're going to have a starting running back. I would just draft somebody. And I want the Seahawks to draft Denzel Boston from the Huskies.
Well, he's not that good.
Oh, he's that good. He's projected to go middle of the first round right now.
Yeah.
I hope he slides.
I love watching football.
Talking to microphone. You're doing a radio show.
I hate
You're doing
talking
fine.
about it.
Do you really?
Look, you can't be smart at everything in life. You're okay.
Yeah.
Nobody holds it against you.
Thank you.
You're smart at many things. I'm just saying you don't have to be smart at everything.
If you enjoy a football game, why you don't what
I don't like this. I don't like to. I
you
don't like.
the analysis?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about what players are coming in. Like, I want to just watch the game.
Hey, there's
And it
nothing
doesn't
wrong
matter
with that.
who's playing to me. I'll watch any game. I
Oh, I
just
will too.
love the art of
Just
the game.
you're not a Giants fan, right?
No. I'm
Okay,
a
just
Seahawks
checking.
fan. What the fuck are you talking about?
Clearly,
he's throwing jabs across the room.
There was a middle finger that went up really quick on that one.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You can
Yeah.
enjoy
She's a-
multiple teams.
Like New York
Oh, I
Giants.
know.
Yeah,
fan,
like-
like
yeah.
football?
Yeah, I
do.
You're a
like
New
New
York
York-
Giants fan? The bar's not set very high, is it?
And also,
No wonder
preseason
why Paul
baseball
lives in
starts
your
Friday.
house.
Kevin.
No wonder why Paul lives in your house. The bar's not
Kevin.
set very high.
What, the Giants?
Yeah. New York Giants.
They just hired Harbaugh.
They did.
Yeah, they got Harbaugh.
Great.
They'll be back in the playoff hunt in about 10 years.
Hey, you know what the best part is?
3
football's over now and baseball starts Friday.
I hear.
Okay, but hold on. Are you okay talking about baseball?
I love watching baseball.
But are you okay
I
talking
don't
about
want
it?
to analyze what players are fucking coming in. When they take the field, that's who's fucking playing the game.
So no.
By the way, wait, hold on. By the way, this is your purchase tip for the Mariners. Go to Costco. Tickets $69.99 a piece. Level 2
Aren't there,
terrace.
Isn't it a pair of tickets for?
You know what? I had to walk
I think it's
past
2.
it. I had to walk past it.
Two for $70.
And it's in the Terrace Club.
And it's in the Terrace Club, so you can order your food. They bring it to you.
Yeah.
It's sweet. That's the only way I go to the
I'm going to
Mariners,
Costco.
unless it's behind third base.
This is the first year that I'm a season ticket holder.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, good
first
for you.
year, first
What
year.
level did you get?
We are on the 100 level, down by the third base foul pole.
Okay.
Well, if you can't make it to a Yankees game, let me know.
I'll let you know.
If you can't make it to any game, let me know.
I'll let you know.
Ditto. Any game. But those tickets at Costco are only good March through June.
That's okay.
Oh, that's good to know, though.
It's still worth it.
And let me say this too: if you don't want to spend the money or the time to go to Seattle, go to a Rainier's game.
Oh,
those
yeah.
games are so much fun.
Yes, they are.
So funny story. Funny story. Bunch of us went to a Rainier game. We watched the game where Harry Ford was up for the Rainiers, and he played. 2 days later, he got traded. Me and my buddy Dan went to Mariners Fan Fest earlier this month in Seattle. I got my photo taken with Sinche, the ambidextrous picture. 3 days later, he got traded. So I believe that I am the jinx. If you get a picture,
You are the karma.
If you're in the vicinity with me, you're getting traded.
Yeah.
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 There you go.
But wait, didn't you get a I can't remember his name. Mike? You got a picture, a former Mariner?
Yeah, I got a picture of Mike Cameron.
Cameron, yes.
I got a photo with Ryan. What's his last name? He's the guy. He got drafted with the Mariners first round last year. He's supposed to Kate Anderson. Sorry, I got a photo with Kate Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to point out that since the Seahawks just won the Super Bowl and the Mariners are only one game away from the World Series, that I think this year that the Seattle Mariners will get to the World Series.
Wouldn't that be amazing if
It would be
both
pretty
won
cool.
championships?
Right.
It would be pretty freaking cool. Has it ever happened?
And then we're hosting.
If it has,
FIFA.
it's got to have been
in Boston.
Boston
Yeah, because the Yankees, the Patriots won, and then the Red Sox.
and the Red Sox
Mm-hmm.
won. Okay.
But it's uncommon, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
really
Sure.
rare. It's really
Thank God you
rare.
didn't say the Yankees did it and the Jets or something.
No,
Or-
no. Jets haven't done this in 60
like the
years.
the Yankees and the Giants. Sorry, no offense.
I will say this though: there are people predicting the Giants will go worst to first in their division. That they think that the Giants.
They
will win the division
legitimately
this year.
could with Harbaugh as their new
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah.
And they got another year. Jackson Dart as quarterback.
He's
they
not a
might
bad
be okay.
quarterback.
They might
so.
be okay. And Dallas freaking sucks. And Philadelphia wants to fire their head coach. Even
They're
though they won
falling
the Super
apart,
Bowl
man.
a couple of years ago, and the Commanders.
She's like, wrap it up, Kevin.
10:01.
You know what? I just can't. I haven't done this all fucking night. And
I said stop doing it. God. Kevin,
What?
HR, stop.
she's been shitty to me all night. Like I had to put her in her place. I had to remind her who the boss was.
He's oof.
Uh-oh.
Oof.
And when she gets a bald spot, you're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
You're going to be paying for that.
I just want to know if she
Kidney spill, bitch.
It actually felt like a back rub, to be honest with you. Like,
Oh,
like I hope you don't ever really get into a real fight with somebody because they're just going to be like, yeah, please massage
Yeah,
me
because I
harder.
was giving you like 25%. I would hurt you if I wanted to.
Please massage me harder.
I think she's got a point, Kevin. She might hurt you. She wanted to.
Whatever. Hurt me.
I have been through the academy, you know. I know how to take people down. I know pressure point control tactics.
I didn't know accountants had an academy. Okay.
I was a corrections officer before I moved back to Washington.
Lori, do you have any parting shots?
I do. It's supposed to snow this week. Yay!
I know. Thank God.
Serious?
I'm only excited because that means I get to work from home.
I know. Bring the goddamn
Right?
snow. Bring the goddamn snow. You know what's great? My boss doesn't listen to this show, so he has no idea I have a Jeep. So when I say I can't make it to work because it snowed,
Tuesday, huh?
that's what they say. Tuesday and maybe Thursday.
Yeah, Tuesday and Thursday is
Wow.
what I have on mine.
that doesn't make me smile.
Uh,
No, I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry, Tom.
No, listen, I'm not fucking sorry. You guys get 363 days a year of no snow. You can sacrifice 2 days.
I actually
2 whole days for snow.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about some snow.
Bring some snow, man. Just deal with it for 2 days. Jesus. All right. Anything else, Lori?
That's all I got.
All right. Do you want to make any parting shots, Amber? Do you have anything you want to say? Like talk about your Giants or no? You know, it says a lot that you're hanging out with Paul now more because I can now understand that you're used to disappointment. So it just it makes sense.
Paul,
It
you
all
gonna
makes
take
sense
that from him?
Paul,
Yeah,
did you hear that?
I don't listen.
It all
All the years of doing this show, 95% of what Kevin says goes in one ear and out the other.
Paul, you
I don't
just
pay
need
any
a
attention
super
to it.
soaker.
What's that?
You just need a super soaker. You're at a perfect height.
You're right. That's a great idea. I mean, I already have a super soaker, so I just gotta.
Not for Alicia though.
I just.
I have a super soaker too, Paul.
Oh yeah.
Why did you punch me? Now I got to do that again because you punched me. Did you punch me again? Then I'm gonna say now we're even. We're even.
Don't do it again.
Don't punch me again.
Alicia, get one of those skull caps.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
That'll look really cute.
Or a taser.
Tasers.
Could you imagine zapping him live on camera?
We're a football.
Actually,
People
that
would
is a-
play that over and over again. They just
We're a
rewind.
We're a
That'd be like-
Rewind.
It'd be like a Beavis and Butthead moment.
Exactly.
Kevin.
Paul, I have a present coming for you, by the way.
Really?
Yep, I bought you a commemorative copy of the Sports Illustrated with the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that'll
I
be
dig
here.
that. I'll frame it. I'll put it on the wall, man. Right next to my Alamo flown flag.
Right on.
I got that because I framed that too that you got from.
Who got you that? Oh, I got you.
You did. I said, yeah.
All right. Can we stop with the love chat and move on to the
I'm
next
sorry, we're
person,
saying
please?
nice things to each other, Beal. You should try it some fucking time. All right, Dennis.
Kevin,
do you have
I
any
am
parting
nice
shots?
to everybody but you.
I know.
So
Hi, Dennis.
Shout out to Tommy's Story Hour.
Tommy the board, good
it
dude.
was a good party on Saturday. Thursday night, Miss My presents a funny night out.
That this
Got a great
Thursday?
lineup. Yep, this Thursday. And Tommy.
Hold on, where's that going to be at? Give us some information where that is.
Movie House.
Tracyton Movie House.
Tracy to Movie House. What time?
Doors open at 7:30. Show at 8.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Seahawks.
Talking to you. Got
Seahawks?
microphone.
Seahawks.
Okay, I say C. You say Hawks. Ready? C.
Hawks.
C.
Perfect.
C.
Hawks.
Yeah. Good job, dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's all good to go.
All right.
Nice job, buddy. Nice job.
Good job, Thomas.
From one Thomas to another. Tom, any parting shots?
Yet actually, pardon me, I'd sat down and started writing something, and then life happened, and I got really stupid busy. But I mean, we were talking about it earlier during the show about all this this division,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't. I'm not trying to like open a can of worms and drag things on, but Super Bowl halftime show.
Yep.
Right. Anyone?
I was going to bring that up tonight.
Yeah.
too. Good job.
Did anyone catch the Bad Bunny performance?
Yeah.
I turned it on.
Yeah, I did. I watched it.
Oh, I've watched both performances.
Yep. I've seen both. The Bad Bunny performance, it was just a performance. Was it family friendly? Yeah, probably not. Should it have been Super Bowl material? Yeah, that's for you to decide as an individual.
I've seen worse.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at, though,
Janet
is-
Jackson.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
Sure.
Her titty.
Yeah, but it was
Hey,
it was just a
there
performance.
was nothing wrong with that.
I didn't
Yeah.
see it.
Whereas I saw the Turning Point halftime show too. It was after the fact.
Yeah.
That one seemed like it was intentionally trying to drive division. So and the conservative talking points these days are kind of aiming that divisive behavior at the extreme, progressive left.
Right.
And I tend to mostly agree with that, except when it gets to these little nitpicky things. And at the end of the day, it's just a fucking show.
Right.
So we all need to come together a little bit better. And I think the Super Bowl, that planned thing, I think that it's that kind of stuff that's just pushing us further apart.
Right, it
and
is.
it makes me sad.
And that whole turning point at halftime show was pre-recorded, put together poorly, and boring as a plain picnic table.
I turned it off, both of them. I didn't watch anything.
So I mean, the turning point had some okay performances in it. I'm not a big country music guy.
Yeah, a bunch of Tear My Beer slow to mid-tempo country is not picking me up at half.
Pick you up, and they started it great, right? I mean, they had a 3-guitar like national anthem. It was amazing, and it ramped you up, and then they dropped you on your butt with Tears in My Beer.
Kid Rock was doing a cover by another artist, and I don't. Yeah. But I'll say this about the Bad Bunny halftime show. Didn't understand a word he said.
Nope.
But I will tell you that if you were a Latino watching that halftime show, it was exactly about what Latino kind of connection is.
Well,
community, street fair, the whole that whole thing.
Some of the lyrical content, if you got it translated.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. I love you, brother.
I'm talking about the ambiance, the setting, the culture, the cultural.
You can talk about the culture, but the problem with the whole argument is that the FCC has guidelines and regulations. You know it. You've been on radio. I know, right? And there are certain words that you cannot say, and the whole point is that just because you say them in another language,
right?
Yeah,
you can't say the rules for thee, but not for me.
No, I agree. I agree.
But I mean, I know people that have worked at like Spanish radio stations, and they get away with it all the time.
I don't disagree.
Yeah,
they do.
So I mean,
again, rules for thee and not for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's just harder to enforce, right? Because English is national language. How many people do you have that speak Spanish and enforce it? And blah blah.
Paul,
blah,
you
blah,
did
blah.
swear a lot on this show, and the only reason we didn't get in trouble is because nobody called. You know what I mean?
Oh, what are you talking about? You didn't sign my honey.
But listen, I honestly believe that the Super Bowl was a great example of conservatives pulling a get off my lawn. Like, there has to be a point where you just say, okay, the next 20 minutes aren't for me. That's okay.
That's okay.
I've had plenty of other Super Bowls that were for me. This one wasn't. I can go get a beer.
Have you? I don't feel like any Super Bowl halftime performance artist has ever spoke to me where I've been like, man, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I have. Like you, I don't.
I don't even watch them.
The Aerosmith one with Run DMC was pretty phenomenal.
Oh, I take that back. I watched the Snoop Dogg one. That
was the last year. Snoop Dre and Eminem, like that one was amazing.
You look, man.
But sometimes you just have to say, okay, this Super Bowl's not for me.
But that's not what it was. It was a political statement by the NFL, who's been deeply involved in political issues.
Didn't even actually know who Bad Bunny was. I think the people that are making fun of him for that, I think they know exactly what they're talking about.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
Because
All
if
I know,
you see him on the sidelines when he's singing, his face is like.
I think the NFL is a global brand, and Bad Bunny, whether you admit it or want to admit it or not, Bad Bunny is global, making a lot of money on global sales and global music. Next year, the NFL is going to Brazil for the first time. They're going to Mexico again. They're going to Australia. They're going to Germany. They're going to England. It's a global brand that they wanted to experiment. Will they ever do it again?
That's
Probably
the whole
not.
thing. Right now, there's a reason Bad Bunny was picked.
Yeah,
he's the number one selling artist in the world right now.
Yeah, he just
bigger than Taylor.
He's making money.
Yeah,
I think it was 3 Grammys he just won. I had never heard of him.
So regardless, what are they going to complain if we have former Norwegian do the halftime show?
No, and you know who's going to do it next year? Backstreet Boys.
Ew.
But they're going to come back.
But they're back.
They're going to come back.
Backstreet Boys. All right.
They're going to come back to what's doing. They experimented this year. They probably won't do it again next year.
But can we just stop and take a moment? Whether you agree with Bad Bunny or not, he paid for that out of pocket.
Right.
The NFL does not pay a dime for the halftime performance.
Yeah. Right.
So that is exposure for him, but it's also a risk.
Yeah.
Look at the backlash she's getting.
Yeah.
He erased all of his social media.
Did
all
he?
of it.
Oh.
Bad Bunny did?
All of it. Yep.
Yeah.
All of it.
And I mean, to be totally honest, no. Did I understand the lyrics? No. I took 3 years of Spanish. I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
I have a Latina in my family now, and she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But she told me ahead of time, she goes, I hope he doesn't get out the risky stuff.
Yeah.
And
when they picked him, by the way, it was before all this ice stuff happened. You know what I mean? So the timing was poor for the NFL.
But there's been shit talking this whole time about him before it even happened. I don't even know that he got a fair
it was
shake
one,
on it.
but you know what? He has nobody to blame but himself. He's the one that went out on Saturday Night Live and made the statement. That's on him.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
and he knew it was going to be on the halftime show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We'll
look,
wrap this up now.
But you know what?
But her hips don't lie.
They don't.
No, they do not.
That's right.
God, can I please pull your hair? We're talking about Shakira. Can I please pull your hair?
No, keep your fucking hands off my hair, okay? I have started a new regimen with my hair. I don't know if you haven't seen it. Have you noticed?
Do you notice I asked?
She's told Kevin 162 times to not touch her hair.
Yeah, stop
and not to
touching my
touch me.
hair.
So, if the wrong person from Plausible for All watches this show and sees you grab her hair, we're liable to end up with a fucking lawsuit. Just saying.
I would like it.
Kevin, I don't want another phone call from the police about you.
I would like it plausible for all.
Both for all.
I would like it plausible for all would lick my scrotum. That'd be great. Okay.
Oh.
All of you at the same time. Every last one of you. All right. Beeler parting shots.
Is that with your sheet on?
I don't actually have any parting shots.
I'll even take a shower first.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Beeler. Sorry.
I just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And that's all I got because I don't really have anything else to say other than Kevin, you're a cunt.
Well, that's not very supportive, but okay. Paul, parting shots.
It's getting late. We got no extra parting shots. We're good to go.
That's all you got? Okay. All right. My parting shots is it was good to come back in the studio. I missed last week's show, so it was good to see everybody. It was nice to have everybody in together at one time. I can't think of the last time that's happened.
Probably not since KITZ.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But this is the first time we've done the show where Boss Baby's shown up.
Yeah.
No, she's been in
She's been in a few times.
In here?
Yeah, in here.
Yeah, in here.
In here? How's she?
But
It's
Paul
been a
hasn't
while.
been. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since we've had the whole crew, and I think it's probably the first time we've had the whole crew all together here in
Yeah.
the new.
We should have took a photo.
We should have took a photo.
We should have, yeah.
We should have.
Guess what I before we end. Oh, hold on. Comments in chat really quick. Donnie said, big fucking nope. Next year is Zach Top and Ella Langley. Time to resurrect
I don't
America.
even know who those fucking people are.
I don't either.
Me either.
Robert said, dude wears dresses. Why can't we just head normal for the Super Bowl? Robert, listen, man. You grew up at the pretty close to the same time I did, where we listened to Culture Club and he wore a dress. We listened to Poison and they wore tons of makeup. We listened to Michael Jackson, who was effeminate as shit, and you guys didn't care then. Like, please stop acting like your youth was different than the youth today.
Well, didn't Rod Stewart?
Yes, Rod Stewart wore a dress.
No. Rod Stewart had to cancel a performance midway through because of getting sick to his stomach from swallowing.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
That's really true. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, let's not make a big deal out of this. Like, us making a big deal out of people wearing dresses is making some people wear dresses just because they want to rebel against it.
What about Klinger? Wasn't it Klinger from MASH?
Yeah, but that was okay because that was then.
All right.
Liberace was gay as a motherfucker.
We're going way off track here. Let's wrap it up.
Saying, let's just pipe down. Let's just settle down. If we stop, listen, I said this before about the whole I want to be a furry in school, right? Some people are doing it because we've told them they can't, and we've made it a big deal. So now they're rebelling because we said it's a big deal. If we quit giving it in credence, it would go away.
That's true.
It would go away.
That's true.
All right. Special thanks to our sponsors, especially Destination Highway 420. You can find them on Hollis, East Bremerton, across the street from Cloverleaf. Stop in, say hi to them. Check out their fine selection of cannabis things and things that go with cannabis things, and some great customer service.
Yeah, great.
And stop in and say hi to them. Tell them the Beeler sent you. Thanks to Black Ring Spirits. We'll let us do the show here every week, and it's good to be back. Thanks to Kitsap Great Escape. Did you know that they have a brand new room coming in the middle of March? They got rid of the Christmas Story room, and they're going to be bringing in a kind of a Harry Potter-esque room. Spells and potions and magic wands and stuff like that. So
you know what?
We're all gonna play the room together, by the way.
I think Kitsap Great Escape should do like an old technology type room.
What do you mean?
Like a rotary phone?
Like a rotary phone, a Bacchus, and all that.
Oh, we have an abacus.
Abacus, sorry.
We have an abacus. We had a rotary. We had an old phone in the Christmas story room. We had a pay phone in the
No, I mean
room.
in just one room. Like they have to go through different steps.
It'd be great. Like all the old people would get through those
fax
quick.
machine, a
all,
telex.
all the old people would get through those rooms so quick, and all the like 18 to 24-year-old people would be like, "What is this? I don't know what it is." I don't.
Carbon copy paper.
Oh my god!
You could get even
Mimeograph.
older. Go like a wash.
Okay.
Come
on, you
hold on.
guys.
And Lori, an old credit card swipe machine.
Oh, a knuckle buster.
The knuckle busters. Yeah, that'd be great.
What's this
Yeah.
do?
And checks. Writing checks.
Write a check. Yeah.
Write a check and balance your checkbook.
And Beeler, we'd have to put in like adult toys that had to be plugged into
And
the wall.
just reach over and push the power
Yes.
button on Kevin's computer.
Yeah.
That's all
All
right.
right.
Do.
Sorry, Beeler.
Push the power
Okay.
button.
All right. John
Actually,
Walker said we need
it's
a
gas powered.
we need a Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction again. Robert says I was never a Jackson fan nor Rod Stewart.
Okay.
And David Bowie did
Good
wear a
night.
dress on Saturday Night Live. You're right. All right. Good night,
Hey,
everybody.
Next Sunday, Dave McMullen.
Oh, that's right. Dave
Oh,
McMullen. That's
nice.
right. Dave will be in studio. I gave him the option when I talked to him about doing it via remotely, and he said he wanted to come in studio.
Because he wants to get cozy.
All right. Good night, everybody. It's Outlaw Radio.
Have a great week.
Have a great week. Do some research, folks.
12's in the building.
Dennis, do you want to record?
Blue and green ghosts when the lights come on. Same cold.